For the last 2 years, Canada's World Junior team was already home by the time the semifinals started. This year, they made sure they weren't going anywhere. They arrived for the semis having scored 32 goals in 5 games, helping them cruise here. Canada's led by 3 dynamic lines, all scoring. 3 pistols, ready to fire. This team's a lot different than last year's team. The most glaring part, though, is goals. Last year's team scored 13 goals. This team has 32 goals already.
Well, time for King.
A 7-5 win. What a night to open this World Junior Hockey Championship. Michael Hayes, overtime winner, and McKenna, the scores. Hat trick for Gavin McKenna. Those hands. Oh my goodness.
Finally, a night where Canada the team and Canada the country could just relax and sit back and enjoy a rout in the quarterfinals. Bit of a blustery, bitterly cold January Sunday evening in St. Paul, Minnesota for the second semifinal of the World Juniors. Sweden is already in dramatic fashion. Canada or Czechia will join them in about 3 hours of change from now. Fans just being allowed to enter the building after that extra long overtime shootout thriller between Sweden and Finland, and we expect it to be mostly red and white for the semifinal. I guess Czechia is red and white anyway, but mostly Canadian red and white for the second semis as we say hello Canada. Welcome to our pregame show and our countdown to Canada versus Czechia. James Duthie alongside the 8-time gold medalist Cheryl Pounder, Frankie Corrado, former NHLer, drafted in this very building, and the 1995 World Junior champion Jeff O'Neill. The U.S. might be Canada's arch rival in hockey, but in this tournament, Czechia has kind of shoved them aside and become Canada's new nemesis the last few years. Those 2 quarterfinal upsets. Canada got a little bit of revenge on Boxing Day, but let's face it, you don't get true vengeance until you knock them out in a game like this with a trip to the gold medal game on the line. To get you started, Mark Masters.
James, Jack Ivankovic says the bigger the stage, the better he plays. He never gets nervous, just the way he was born. Maybe that's why he keeps winning gold medals. He did it at the under 17 level, a couple times at the under 18 level, and now relishing the chance to be Canada's starter at the World Juniors. Porter Martone acknowledging with the host Americans out, he's not expecting a big crowd here tonight, but Canada's captain is drawing inspiration from knowing millions of fans are watching back home. His message to the fans: this team is going to play its heart out. Every guy is going to give blood, sweat, and tears until the very end. Gavin McKenna has been leaning on Connor Bedard for guidance during his NHL draft season. He said Bedard had a lot of fun at the World Juniors, and so the piece of advice that's resonated the most is live in the moment. Stay in the present. Don't get fixated on the big picture. Zane Parekh, who's sitting right beside me here on the bench, has been doing a great job living in the present at this World Juniors. 10 points, leading the tournament, entering the medal round, and he's just 2 points away from tying the Canadian single tournament record for points by defenseman. GM Alan Miller of Hockey Canada meeting the media yesterday, calling Parekh a game changer and saying he's not getting enough credit for all the good work he does defensively. Now, Canada got some revenge against Czechia on Boxing Day, but tonight, a chance for the ultimate payback. And defenseman Kayshawn Aitchison saying that what happened the last 2 years, that's going to add a little fuel to the fire here tonight. James?
You're right. Look, the redemption story is part of it. We've been harping on it forever. That's what we tend to do here. But reality is, Jeff, whoever the opponent is, what they really just want to do is get back to that gold medal game after the 2 quarterfinal upsets. What do they have to do it? And is this group ready for the moment?
James, I think the last game they gifted themselves an easy videotape session of how to do it and what needs to be done to get it done. Like, it's ground and pound game, and if you get to that and use your talent and skill, I don't think there's any team left that can compete with them. It's very simple. Get the puck in and do the simple things and go to the net. And then after that, if you're going to force the team to stretch out a little bit, you can take advantage of it with skill plays. There seems to be a transition with this team, and the same thing happened in Halifax. Remember in Halifax, they tried Michigan's early in the tournament, and they thought the tournament was about doing Michigan's. Same with these guys. The first couple games, it was like, let's flash and dash, make some skill plays. I think the realization of why they're here to win a gold medal has sunken in with these guys, and they're ready to rock.
One thing, they've been a true team so far, and Captain Porter Martone said, if we want to win the gold medal, all 4 lines have to contribute, and that's exactly what's happened so far. He said, we're not a one-trick pony. Not at all so far. Each of the top 3 lines, centered by Michael Hage, Michael Misa, and Cole Baudouin, at least 6 even-strength goals in the 5 games they've played. Is there one of them, do you think, that is most critical today, Cheryl?
Well, I think it's the third line, if it's the Baudouin line, and just because they can shut down and they can also provide that secondary scoring, as you've seen. And also, if they're going to be aligned against the Sikora line for Czechia, who has put up 23 points so far this tournament, wouldn't be surprised if Aitchison and Danford are out there with them. Don't expect them to just start periods. They may start the game depending on where that Sikora line is. When you consider block shots by O'Reilly and Baudouin, I mean 17 combined. Baudouin leading in terms of battles won for this team. And Desnoyers, I mean, this guy got elevated against Latvia, and I thought he did a fantastic job. So creating a lot of space for that group as well. So you've got the speed of O'Reilly, Baudouin in the dot over 50%. They're heavy. They're in the right positions defensively without the puck, and that's also setting up the Hage line and the Misa line like a wave. So I think that this line is absolutely critical, and when they can open it up and you've got that kind of depth, you can be successful.
Always in these pregame shows, we try to pick potential heroes and difference makers. You could probably pick 7 or 8 different forwards who it could happen to as Team Canada. If you're just joining us, delayed warm-up is, here comes Team Czechia onto the ice, delayed a few minutes because of the previous game and its length, but I was saying you could pick one of 7 forwards who could play hero, or maybe the biggest difference maker so far, Frankie, has been Zane Parekh. 10 points, 4 goals, 6 assists, leads the tournament as a defenseman.
He's a difference maker, but boy, is he a wild ride with some of the things that happen when he's on the ice. That's both good, mostly good, and the odd time you might see something that maybe you question, but offensively, Zane Parekh is on another level. What he does on the offensive blue line, the way he maneuvers and is able to make unpredictable passes, the way he can get himself into a spot to get a shot off, and maybe most importantly, the breakout passes, the stretch passes, crisp and clean, just like an NHL player, and that would make sense because he's coming back from the NHL. Zane Parekh has been a big-time difference maker, and that will continue because he is getting more and more comfortable, never short on confidence. He has been outstanding with the puck on his stick throughout the course of this tournament. But when I say wild ride, you might see something defensively and say, oh, I'm not sure what that was. But with the puck, he has been phenomenal.
It's an adventure, but it's been a fun one to watch so far for Canada. Jack Ivankovic about to lead Team Canada out onto the ice for warm-up in what will be the biggest game of his life, and he's played in a bunch of big games already, usually ends up winning gold. He's won gold almost at every single level for Canada, including the U18s last year, where he pitched shutouts in both the semifinal, 4-0 over Slovakia, and in the gold medal game, a 7-0 win over Sweden, who they would face if they win this one today.
I love the comment, I never get nervous. Your teammates catch wind of that. They love hearing that from their starting goaltender, James.
Just waiting for Ivankovic.
It's a little different than the 3M Arena at Mariucci, where they had the 90-second walk to get onto the ice.
It's also so quiet in here because the fans have just been let in, so there's probably 100 in the building right now, and we're so used to Canada stepping on the ice and this roar is here they come. There won't be, it'll be a muted roar. As you can see, there's hardly anybody here yet. Look, it's been a different tournament than it usually is in Canada anyway, because the crowds have not been great. Not helped in the semi-final day because the Americans were knocked out, but I don't think Canada could care less. They know everybody watching at home. They've alluded to the fact that there's millions watching at home to cheer them on today as they try to get back to the gold medal game. Talked about Ivan Kovic and his confidence. It's amazing to hear a teenager say, oh, I won't be nervous at all, just another hockey game.
It's pretty remarkable. And listen, he's a confident kid. He's had a dominant season. And every time he's been in the net as a member of Team Canada's World Junior team, and even under 18, under 17 for that matter, well, there's no reason to think that he would be nervous. He has looked comfortable. He has looked calm. And he's an athletic goaltender. He's not the biggest goaltender, but he's athletic. And he's never going to give up on a play. But one thing that does stand out, other than the athleticism, is his movements in the crease have been crisp. They've been clean. It never feels like he's got the happy feet going, never feels like he's uncomfortable, and I believe him 100% when he says he's not nervous in this situation.
For the most part, Canada's discipline has been a massive strength. They were only shorthanded 9 times in the first 4 games. Faltered a little against Slovakia when that game got chippy, but it was already over basically. How critical today against a Czechia side that has used its power play to jumpstart it in 3 of its wins?
Well, it's massive, right? I mean, you want to be playing at 5-on-5 against this team. They are 31% operating on the power play, 6 for 19. And if you reflect back to last year against Czechia in the quarterfinal, they had 2 power play goals, one late in the game. Baudouin had that 5-minute major. So when you look at this group collectively, yes, they've been more disciplined, but they have to make sure they stay out of the penalty box. We talked about the depth. Well, they've got that wave of depth from line 1 through line 4, and if they can get them on the ice, they're going to create the pace they need and the speed they need through the neutral zone to be able to get into the offensive zone with the offensive production and powerhouses that they have. So for me, the discipline is absolutely critical. The PK has been excellent. We've talked about O'Reilly. We've talked about Baudouin and what they've been able to do. You know, the block shots, the good sticks in lanes, but overall, you do not want to be killing penalties against this Czechia team.
Discipline is so important, Cheryl, but so is controlling your emotions. I always get worried about these guys. In a big game, controlling your emotions, you don't want somebody to come over the boards and run somebody over with an ill-advised hit, and then all of a sudden you're killing penalty for 5 minutes. So just keeping your emotions in check, James, off the hop is really important for these guys.
Remember, Baudouin took that knee-on-knee last year, which pretty controversial whether it was 5 minutes or not, but the Czechs did score on that one. Cole told me he'd thought about it all year long. He's been fantastic in this tournament so far for Canada as he tries to get personal redemption alongside the team redemption, getting back to the gold medal game. Here is Canada's lineup. They'll go with the same one it used in the quarterfinal win over Slovakia. 12 forwards, 8 defensemen. The 2 17-year-olds, Verhoff and Karls, were impressive and stayed together as the 4th D pairing. We've highlighted third liner Sam O'Reilly. Points in 3 consecutive games, 2 goals, 3 assists in his last 2. He's been terrific, and he's with Kenzie Lalonde.
Sam, we go back to Boxing Day. That was a dramatic, exciting game, but here you are, more on the line tonight. How do you think this one will go?
Yeah, we're excited. Just got to play our game, and hopefully it should go well.
You came into this tournament with that trust from your head coach, Dale Hunter, back in London. Now it's extended to your line mates in Baudouin and Desnoyers. How have you guys harnessed this identity to be a reliable group?
Yeah, just got to keep it simple and stick to the system and do what the coaches are telling us. So just got to keep working hard and doing our thing.
You come in with that winning pedigree, back-to-back OHL championships, Memorial Cup as well. Is this one of those games where this team's collective winning experience can help you guys shine?
Yeah, bunch of good players here and a lot of guys that know how to win games. So it's grateful to be here and a bunch of good teammates. So excited to get going.
Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Was the last pick of the first round in 2024 to the Edmonton Oilers. We have lots more ahead for you as we count you down to Canada and Czechia. Coming up next, how Michael Hage's late father, a diehard hockey fan, helped Michael become a star in the making for Canada. Canada has a slew of dynamic stars. The panel will pick the most entertaining so far next.
I'm Jet Luchenko of the Brantford Bulldogs, and this is Change of Pace. So you're coming in on the D, and you want to get by him. So change of your speed can be helpful to trip up the D-man a little bit and second guess his gap. So if you change up and then come through and then cut across the net to score. It's a good way to get better, is to get reps to come in on the D and think about things like changing up your pace and what the defensive guy is thinking as well. Everyone's doing drills, so you gotta find a way to get an edge on different people, and everyone's gotta keep working on their games. I think it's a big thing.
Jet won't be overwhelmed by any matchup tonight because in his second NHL game last year with Philly, his line was matched the entire night against Connor McDavid. Welcome to the NHL. By the way, O feels Luchenko's going to score a big one either tonight or tomorrow. You have all seen on the ice what everyone who knows Michael Hage will tell you about him, that he is driven, focused, disciplined. Those traits he shares with his late father, Alan, who helped shape Michael and his younger brother, Alexander, a man who would have been so proud to have seen what Michael has done in this tournament. Alan was instrumental in the hockey lives of Michael and his younger brother Alexander, beginning with his allegiance to the Montreal Canadiens.
My parents both grew up in Montreal, so when I was young, my dad had me cheering for the Habs right away, and yeah, it's just who I've cheered for since.
They had no choice in the matter. They both came out of the hospital decked out in Habs gear.
It was a deep emotional attachment, you know, and Alan inherited that from his father.
His dad was always screaming at the TV. I remember that clearly. I always thought his dad was going to die of a heart attack watching a Habs game. And Alan was not much different. When the kids played in Port Credit, they were on the same team, and it was the Maple Leafs. And Alexander was, you know, a bit more careless, and he would say, "Go Leafs, go." And Michael would be looking over his shoulder to see, oh my God, is my dad going to see me cheering, "Go Leafs, go," like waiting for the axe to come down. And yeah, they just didn't have a choice. They had to be Habs fans. And that's how they grew up.
As Michael and Alexander grew, so did Alan's passion for helping them to improve and succeed in hockey.
Once we saw that they had a knack for it, Alan got a bit excited and decided to, as long as they're into it, I'm going to give them every opportunity possible.
I remember the hours and hours of them speaking about the previous game or previous practice and go through the tapes and every move, and Michael ate it up.
He kind of gave us that push that we needed and saw something in us. And without that, I wouldn't have the standards I kind of have for myself.
I told him a few times, "Al, is this too much, you know, for Michael and Alexander?" And he goes, "They want to stop hockey, we stop hockey. If you say, you know, Dad, you know, I want to do this, let's do it," then it's pedal to the metal.
He would approach it the same way every single day, and I was just, you know, don't have any regrets. I think that's just a great way to look at life and hockey especially.
What was really important to Alan was to make sure that his kids learn how to compete, learn how to work hard, learn how to be disciplined, wake up in the morning with a goal, a purpose, no matter what it is.
He just never wanted me to kind of look back at it in 10 years and be like, I wish I would have like worked harder at this age. That was always kind of the message from him.
And when Alan died suddenly in the summer of 2023, Michael continued that work despite his grief.
I knew he didn't want to give up. One of the things he did say the night of at the hospital, which was hard, is like, "Dad's not going to be there for my draft." And all I could say was, "No, he's going to be there, just, you know, not in person."
Welcome to an NHL draft like no other. We are live at Sphere, Las Vegas.
It was a nerve-wracking day. I think we were just excited. I was really hoping that he would go in the first round based on the projections.
We're all waiting, not knowing really what's happening, you know, number 9, number 10.
By pick 18, I couldn't breathe anymore.
I remember looking over at my mom. I was just like, "You think they'll take me?"
And the Canadians come on, and like, everyone's heart just slowed down.
From the Chicago Steel in USHL, Michael Hage.
It was just the most special moment of my life, thinking about everything with my dad in that moment and like how fired up he would have been.
If you could have scripted it, like, you couldn't have come up with that.
She was just like, "This is a sign from your dad. what are the odds this would have happened?
Mike was on another level. He wasn't walking, he was floating.
Anytime I step on the ice, I think about him. Just the lessons he's taught me throughout my life. You never know when it's going to be your last day with someone, so just be grateful and enjoy every second of it.
Wonderful piece from our production team, including Matt Cade on that one. Pop quiz. Hage has been terrific, but there's been so many high-octane, high-profile performers for Canada who've not only delivered a ton of points, but just a ton of spectacular moments so far. So in today's pop quiz, who has been Canada's foremost human highlight reel? Zane Parekh, Tija Ginla, Michael Hage, Gavin McKenna, or Brady Martin? Frankie, take your pick.
Gavin McKenna, because so many times, especially in the offensive zone, when he gets the puck on his stick, he is making passes that you almost don't even see, and chances are it's leading to something exciting, a high-quality scoring chance. So for me, it's Gavin McKenna.
Michael Hage for me, and this was difficult, right, with all of these guys in the mix, but points in all 5 games, 2 goals, 7 assists, team leading 18 shots on goal. But for me, it's his brain, the way he can get to open space. He creates the space, guys, but then he uses the space accordingly, whether it's with a pass or a shot.
I'm going Brady Martin. I know you guys wanted to spice up the pop quiz with some variety, but Brady Martin is the slam dunk guy, and he has been since the pre-tournament games. He does it all. He disrupts on the forecheck. He's physical. He can score. He makes plays. He is the go-to guy for Canada, and I want to get, when the tournament's done, a Brady Martin autographed jersey, James.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, and I know a way to
kind
make
of
that happen.
unprofessional, but you do it, so it's okay. I really thought you were going to go off the board and vote for yourself as the most entertaining, which is what you tend to do whenever you get in a quiz.
I was not an option.
This would have been outrageous if you did.
You would have taken yourself.
We'll work on that Brady Martin signed jersey for ODOG before the tournament is done. And we have more ahead for you. We'll size up the opposition next, as Mike Johnson always does. The dangerous Czech defenseman Adam Jiricek. More on him next. Well, Adam Jiricek scored the goal of the tournament so far, between the legs OT winner. In fact, has a goal in each of Czechia's 4 victories. Canada's the only team to stop him, though it was Jiricek who set up the game-winning goal last year in Czechia's quarterfinal upset of Canada. As we bring in Mike Johnson, already having a busy day with that overtime shootout game he called with Gord Miller. What's the key to stopping not only Jiricek, but a bunch of really talented Czechia blue liners?
Well, a couple of different elements to it, especially when you're dealing with Jiricek and Galvis for sure. They want to get up in the rush. They want to be that 4th member, that 2nd layer of the attack. So what you have to do is stay above them, which means not turning pucks over. When they get on the rush, you got to be back there with them to discourage them from getting it. Knowing that Jiricek is unique on this Czech team and that he's got a really big shot, so that he can work around the edges, and you think he might be in the right spot, but if he gets that shot away, then it can still be very dangerous. But where I think Canada needs to be more worried about him is defensively, because he's got the size and the strength and the closing speed where he can turn pucks over with his good defensive work, and that could be transition opportunities either for him or his team. He's a dual threat. He's good in his own end, and he's got the big shot going offensively as well, James.
As much as we made a big deal of Canada struggling defensively in the first game, so did the Czechs, as Canada scored 7 goals. In fact, they've averaged 6.4 so far in the tournament. The 8 previous times Canada has averaged at least 6 goals over an entire tournament, they won gold or silver. Here we go again. Canada, Czechia inside the room. The captain, Porter Martone from Peterborough. After a slow start, 4 goals, 3 assists, he's been terrific. Cole Baudouin, one of the best Canadians, the Canada native, has 3 goals and 4 assists and done a terrific job in checking. And Gavin McKenna has been waiting for this stage his entire life. Didn't get a chance last year when they were upset in the quarters, but a chance to go to the gold medal game. You ready, Canada? You better.
Championship. Jiricek feeds it back across. Yeko scores. Adam Yeko.
Devastating end for Canada here. just losing in the quarters.
It will be the 6th consecutive year that Canada and Czechia have met each other in the medal round game at the World Juniors. On the face of Czechia, who has been their nemesis the last couple of years, which should be a classic semifinal matchup.
The real chance for revenge comes Sunday with a trip to the gold medal game on the line. Sunday of January in St. Paul, Minnesota, also the eve of Medal Day at the 2026 World Juniors. Sweden awaits the winner of Canada and Czechia, a wild first semifinal, as each team had a dozen chances to win before the Swedes pull it out in the shootout. Buckle up, because now it's Canada's turn against their new nemesis. The panel has graduated from the University of Minnesota and started a new job in the home of the Wild. Here's the class of early 2026. Cheryl Pounder, Frankie Corrado, and Jeff O'Neill alongside. And of course, it's Canada-Czechia. Who else would it be? For 4 years running, it seems every big game at the World Juniors involving Canada also involves Czechia. That brilliant gold medal game in Halifax 3 years ago. The two crushing quarterfinal losses over the last 2 years. And now here we go again, this time for a trip to the gold medal game. To start, the guys who'll call this one for you, Gordon Miller and Mike Johnson.
And James, Canada leads the way with 32 goals in 5 games in the tournament. At their best, they have been a juggernaut, but there have been some moments when they've not been.
And so that's why, as fun as it is to celebrate the offense, Canada in this game against Czechia will need to prioritize the other stuff that leads to the offense. They need to worry about defense and puck management and positioning and being responsible. Czechia has shown themselves to be a very good attacking team. So Canada doesn't need to think about chasing offense. They need about worrying about the goals against. And that includes Ivan Kovic in net as well. Has to be sharp, because there will be chances generated against him. Now, once you do that, then the fun starts. And Canada's shown across their lineup and with all their defensemen, they can attack in waves, they can score in bunches, and they can be very, very creative. But they only get these chances if they do the work, if they are responsible before they get the puck. That will be the message from the coaches. If they do it, they'll have a great chance to get to the gold medal game.
Czech coach Patrick Augusta yesterday talking about the depth of this Canadian team. The top line has 9 goals. The second line has 9 goals. The third line has 5. But the Czechs have been very resilient, James. They've allowed the first goal in 4 of their 5 games in this tournament.
Thank you, boys. This was not a big rivalry at this tournament simply because Czechia wasn't very good for a long time. But over the last few years, the 2021 quarterfinal, which Canada won, the 2022 semifinal, that gold medal game I mentioned, the Bedard team in Halifax, and then those 2 shocking quarterfinal losses in Sweden and then in Ottawa, and now here we go again in the semifinal as they become Canada's new nemesis. By the way, if you are just joining us, maybe watching football today and missed the first semifinal, it went late, so the start of this game is a little bit late tonight. We expect to start about a quarter to the hour wherever you are. So just probably 7 minutes late from where we're expected to start. That's why the players have not come onto the ice yet. Once they do get out here, what's the critical piece for Canada?
The start is so important. Find a way to get Czechia to chase the game. Now, 2 years in a row that Canada has lost to Czechia in this tournament. 2 years in a row, Canada didn't have a lead in those games. So you can get off to a great start now. And with all the firepower we've seen Canada have, I would not want to be a team that is chasing the game, because they can open it up. So the start, really critical for Canada.
Muddy the track back, as Ray Ferraro used to say. The team that can do that and has advantage doing that is Canada. Any type of east-west type of play out there is not to their advantage, and I think they've learned the last game against Slovakia. If they get it in and just do the simple stuff, they're going to have success. Not everything has to be flash and dash or a high-skill play. If they get pucks towards the net and try to overwhelm the Czechs, they'll have a great chance to win this hockey game.
Two things for me. They're going to have to manage the puck at the blue lines, right? Especially because they're up against a Czechia team that is so effective in transition. So they will move the puck quickly and they will get off of the rush. And the other thing is, once they're in the offensive zone, I think they got to get off the walls because they've got a heavy, strong, solid defense core that knows how to shut it down. So I think they get off the walls as quickly as possible.
Great opportunity for a lot of these players, James. This is kind of as nervy as it gets for a lot of them for the first time. And you get to see who can perform under these circumstances. And for a lot of guys, they'll continue that for throughout their career. So it's a great time to start it right now.
One guy who says he's not nervy at all is the guy who's in the most nerve-wracking position, starting goaltender for Canada, Jack Ivankovic, who says doesn't get nervous, just another game for him. He had to sit and watch all the big games last year, only got to play against Latvia. Looked like he'd only get a game in against Latvia this year, but Carter George falters a bit, and now it's his tournament. What do you expect?
I expect him to be exactly what he says he's going to be, not nervous, because he has a lot of pedigree. All he's done is win gold medals for Team Canada, under 17, under 18, Hlinka Gretzky. And keep in mind, this version of Team Canada that we see today is different than the one we saw on Boxing Day, where they were a little sloppy with the puck and it led to a lot of chances going the other way. So for Jack Ivankovic, he doesn't have to do anything different than what he's done this season at the University of Michigan. Just play his game and have trust in the fact that the team in front of him is a more polished version than the team that started this tournament.
Canada will go with 12 forwards and 8 defensemen for the second straight game. The two 17-year-old defensemen, Keaton Verhoff, Carson Karls, will both play as the fourth pairing. Kayshawn Aitchison and Ben Danford will be the shutdown pairing. Aitchison led all Canadian defensemen with over 19 minutes and 24 seconds to play in the last game, in the quarterfinal game, and Kayshawn is standing by now with Kenzie.
Okay, Sean, you said these are the games you live for. So where's your mindset now after warm-up?
Yeah, we're all super excited. You know, do or die. So, yeah, you got to give her all you got. Sacrifice anything, do whatever it takes to win. So I think we're really pumped in there.
You think back to the Boxing Day game. How do you think this team has improved since then?
Yeah, I think we've just got a lot more structure to our game. We're playing way more connected as a team. And I think, you know, we're playing a way more team game. Are clicking right now, that Baudouin line, obviously the McKenna line, and Martone all the way up and down the lineup. Everyone's been going, and I think that's going to be the key as we work them down through all 4 lines.
What would it mean to you to play for gold?
It mean the world. It's what you dream of as a kid. You know, every World Junior you dream of playing for a gold medal, winning with Team Canada. So, you know, we're going to try to do whatever it takes to do that and give ourselves the best opportunity.
Have fun.
Thank you.
The first semifinal, one of the craziest endings we've seen in a while at the World Juniors, and we've seen a lot. 3-2 Sweden late in the third. Jonas Arolainen jumps on the loose puck and beats Härenstam. We're tied up at 3. These teams always play tight games, the forever rivals Finland and Sweden. Off to overtime we go. Sweden's Viggo Bjork, get used to this, breaks in, can't beat Terry Rimpinen. A few minutes later, Bjork in alone again, can't finish. Moments later, another Bjork breakaway, and he can't convert once more. 4th overtime and breakaway. 4 in a row, and then he's up first for Sweden in the shootout, and this guy's going to be having nightmares about Rimpinen, but maybe they won't be that bad. Jack Berglund to keep Sweden alive. Had to score there, does. So we go to extra shooters. Julius Miettinen for Finland. Can't convert, and there is your winner, Anton Frundell, after he went double doink in his previous attempt. Sweden, with so many nightmare exits and semifinals over the years, finally gets one done by the narrowest of margins, and this time it's the Finnish hearts that are broken. They will play for the bronze medal. Sweden will play the winner of Czechia and Canada for the gold medal. Let's hear from the Canadian coach. His second trip to the semis, of course, he won gold with Canada in 2020. It's Dale Hunter with Mark Masters.
Dale, what do you want your team to remember or have learned from the Boxing Day game against Czechia?
Well, we know how you know, they're a good team. They're well structured, so we got to play our game and play a well structured game, or you're going to be in trouble. Like at the start of the game, there, both teams were a little bit loose, and there was a lot of goals going in.
Pretty intense game on Boxing Day, probably going to be more of the same, maybe even up a notch tonight. How do you, as a coach, help your players manage the moment in a game like this?
You know, you just get playing out there. It's a hockey game, and they want to be in this situation. It's any hockey player, so it's going to be a good hockey game, and our kids they know it, and they're ready to go.
What about a hockey coach? What's it like for you to coach in a game like this?
Oh, it's coaching is like you prepare, and then you play the game, so you finally get it going.
What did you like about the 8 defenseman alignment the other night?
It gave us a lot of versatility on the back end, give us some good offense. The young kids were good offensively and defensively.
Thanks, Dale.
Okay, you're welcome.
The thing Hunter stressed before the very first game against Czechia was safe, smart plays. No turnovers because Czechia counters so well. It didn't go so well for Canada in that first game. They had a lot of turnovers, but they've gotten progressively better defensively as the tournament has gone along. And as we watch and wait for Canada to step onto the ice, offensively, they've been brilliant, and it's been balanced scoring. Not only have they scored 32 goals, but the goals have come from everywhere. The top 3 lines for Canada all have at least 6 5-on-5 goals, which is truly remarkable in a tournament like this. Here comes Jack Ivankovic leading Canada onto the ice. I mentioned, Cheryl, who have all been great, is one more critical than the rest tonight?
Well, they're all important, but I'm looking directly at the Baudouin line. I mean, what they've been able to do just in that shutdown role capacity, are they going to be up against the Sikora line with 23 points over the course of this tournament? That is absolutely massive. They've also had 7 even strength goals. When you look at O'Reilly and Baudouin, they lead this team with 17 combined blocks. And then you've got Desnoyers, who was elevated after the Latvia game. And man, has he ever created space for this line.
Justin Williams, Mr. Game 7, used to adapt the philosophy, do all the little things, the simple things, but you have to have the courage to make a big play in big moments in games like these and moments like these.
You'll never think this way, but you have to mitigate mistakes. Sometimes games like this come down to who's going to make the most mistakes. You have to play the way you would want to play, but you have to have an understanding of what those critical mistakes could mean.
Canada has only trailed for 4 minutes and 49 seconds in this entire tournament, a stretch in the second period against Czechia. Since then, they've outscored their opponents 30-9. 60 minutes away from a trip to the gold medal game. Gord Miller and Mike Johnson have it for you.
And we're back in St. Paul, Minnesota on this Sunday night, the second of 2 semifinals of the 50th World Junior Championship. The winner will take on Sweden in the gold medal game tomorrow night, and it brings together Canada and Czechia for the 6th consecutive playoff round at the World Junior Championship. Going back to 2021, the Czechs have won the last 2. Canada beat the Czechs in the gold medal game back in 2023 in Halifax. The officials of this game are Alexander Osterberg of Sweden, Rocco Stahoviak of the United States, the linesman Luka Mäkinen, and Joni Pekkala of Finland. And starting in goal for the Czechs is 18-year-old Michal Orszalak, plays for Prince Albert in the Western Hockey League, allowed 6 goals on 26 shots to Canada in the first meeting on Boxing Day. And Jack Ivankovic gets the start for Canada, has a .959 save percentage in the tournament. The freshman goaltender of the University of Michigan has a .927 save percentage there. Patrick Augusta's team has won medals in 3 consecutive World Junior Championships. And for Canada, it's Dale Hunter trying to return Canada to the gold medal podium. He put them there in 2020 with a gold medal win in Czechia in Ostrava. And Cole Baudouin's line gets the start against the Peter Sikora line. So right away, Dale Hunter shows the matchup he wants head-to-head.
All right, guys. Congratulations, guys. Let's have a good game, okay? Sticks.
And here we go. High-scoring Canadians have scored at least 7 goals in 4 of their 5 games, but the Czechs have been resilient. That's turned over to Caleb Desnoyers, now played back to center ice by Adam Jiricek, who did not practice yesterday. He's been ill of late, and there has been a bug going around the tournaments, but Jiricek is here tonight, and Patrick Augusta has all hands on deck.
Don't want to hear that, because Patrick Augusta would be counting on Jiricek to play 25 minutes tonight, in the way this game is likely going to go.
Face off back down to the Czech zone after the icing. Canada led 1-0, 2-1, trailed through 2, led 4-3 in that game against the Czechs on Boxing Day. Czechs tied the game 3 different times. Baudouin wins that drawback, but it's picked back up and moved ahead by Jakub Fibiger. Rink wide pass, pinballed off a leg. Nestershil missed on that. Now back goes Danford. He's tied up behind the goal, kicks it back around. Keishon Aitchison on his backhand off the glass, couldn't clear it out. Now Baudouin does, and a chance now for Canada. Sam O'Reilly comes busting in with Desnoyers. O'Reilly gets a step, moves it and shoots. The stop made by Orshilak. Fibiger back with it. High up the boards and back down the ice. Cameron Reid plays it back around for Zane Parekh, the tournament point leader with 10. And 2 points away from Alex Petrangelo's record for the most points by a Canadian defenseman in a single World Junior. Set down in 2010 in Saskatoon. Parekh steps up. And Galvis came busting in. Keep an eye on Thomas Galvis, number 23. Now turned over to quick glove chance, or glove save by Ivan Kovic on the chance by Tomas Politin.
Politin, who is an agitator, goes right into Ivan Kovic's face to have a word, but a tough reverse here. Reid to nobody in particular, and it ends up right back out to Politin for a good chance. After Sam O'Reilly goes underneath the stick of Mirka, a good opportunity to get your feet moving early. These two teams have shown that they can create offense against each other. That's one thing's for sure.
Michael Hage in for the face-off for Canada. Had a miserable time on the dot in the first 2 games, but is steadied of late, above 50% now is Hage. Late, above 50% now is Hage. Up ahead to Brady Martin, banks that back out. And back to pick it up is Adam Tittelback, who gets promoted to the 3rd line for the Czechs for this game. That's knocked down by Gavin McKenna. McKenna from Whitehorse, Yukon. Yukon just endured its 3rd coldest December in history.
They're bundled up watching them tonight.
At the line, McKenzie collides hard with Stepan Hook. He's called offside at the Canadian line.
Well, it's been a good tournament for Gavin McKenna. It's been very productive, very consistent. Offense has been there, but every game. Yeah, the one big game against Denmark, but you'd love to see him shoot a little bit more. I think the goal scoring is there, although he loves to try to make that extra pass. He's very good at it.
Rashny wins that face-off back. Carson Karls plays it back across for Keaton Verhoff, the 2 draft-eligible defensemen paired together for Canada. Jet Luchenko trying to dig that free and behind the goal. Luchenko tied up. Fibiger up along the boards. It's moved back out by Yuri Klima. At center ice, poked ahead by Luchenko, and Jiricek took that away. And the on-rushing Jet Luchenko. Now it's center ice, moved back down. And Mate Kubiesa. Here's Verhoff with it. Pokes out ahead. And now Verhoff back with it. The freshman at the University of North Dakota, a 17-year-old freshman.
The plan was not to play this pairing very often, but Dale Hunter liked what he saw of them last game, so they'll get more ice time as they go along.
Verhoff off the glass, back down to the Czech line. Mirka moves out ahead. Right, and Mirka, the Buffalo first-round pick, missed the first couple for the Czechs. That's wound in by Galvis. Secret long shot. Saved by Ivan Kovic. Rebound thrown back in front. Here's Nestershil. Shovels it there. Galvis put that through the crease. And it's banked back out by O'Reilly. A race for it now. Baudouin in on Mirka. And they'll call that icing on the Canadians. And a flurry for the Czechs around the Canadian goaltender, Jack Ivan Kovic.
Get used to that name, Galvis. He is a rushing defender, and he makes a lot of things happen. He drives everyone back, even though it's turned over. Seeker has gotten the shot right in the slot. Ivan Kovic with the save and the rebound, and one more. And you love to see that Ivan Kovic early. Looking calm, looking confident, and making a couple big saves to keep it scoreless.
Ivan Kovic, a 3-time gold medalist for Canada in under-18 tournaments, a Hlinka Gretzky Cup, and 2 under-18s. One of 16 Canadian players who won a gold medal at an IHF under-18 World Championship. And now Benak with a shot. That's blocked. Benak again shoots and puts that high. Baudouin with it. Poke checks that to the line. Canada needs a change here. And they'll start it now. Benak. A Minnesota 4th-round pick winds in, and he's poke checked there by Desnoyers, and it's picked back up by Aitchison. High in the air to center ice. That's gloved down. And moved back in by Mann. Aitchison lifts that back to center ice, and Hook plays that back for Mann. Lifted back in by Politin, and here's Keishon Aitchison back to pick it up. Snapped ahead by Danford, trying to find Misa with the pass, and Jiricek knocked that away for Fibbiger. Michael Misa on the forecheck, causing problems for the Czechs. Now Hook has it back, moves out ahead, and then tries to find Tittelbach. Drop back for Hook with a shot that's blocked by Danford. Porter Martone to TJ Ginla. And away comes Ginla along with Misa. Ginla moves in on Fibbiger. Back to pick it up to Novotny, but Misa got in the way of that pass. Here's Misa, loose behind the goal. He's knocked down by Novotny. Picked back up by Ginla. Back to Parekh. Zane Parekh dances the line, stays onside. Here's Parekh back with it. Flips it back down. The centering pass for Misa misfired. And picked up in the high slot. That's knocked away from Tittelbach. Back on it is Martone. Tittelbach gets a second try and skates it out for the Czechs. Bump back down to the Canadian zone as Ivan Kovic leaves it there for Reed. Cameron Reed, the Elmer, Ontario native, plays for Kitchener in the OHL. That's turned over for the moment. Kubiesa on it. And picked back up by Dranchak. Plays that back at the point to Galvis, a long shot that floats wide. Across the top is Klima. Parek's on him. That long shot hit a leg in front. Picked back up by McKenna as Canada breaks it out. McKenna lobs that back down to the Czech line as the Canadians begin to change. But they'll call a hand pass at center ice and play is called.
So you've referenced the sterling resume for Jack Ivankovic playing for Canada. Look at those numbers. I think it's the wins at the Linka and the U18s that are most impressive. And he's come out and had to be good early. Benak, who's been desperate to find a goal, looked like he might have had short side there, but sailed it on Ivankovic.
Ivankovic, a second-round pick of Nashville in the last NHL draft, eligible to return next year for Canada. Canada has 10 players on the roster young enough to come back next year in Edmonton and Red Deer. A bump back down to the Canadian zone as Ethan McKenzie's back to pick it up. Banks that back around for Harrison Brunik at the line, kept alive by Galvis. And Sikara's shot was blocked. Gets another try. Sikara tries to flip that back. And Baudouin knocked that away and just got it back up by O'Reilly. Brunik spins back in the corner with it. One of 6 Canadian players who's played in the NHL this year, but Neshville took that from him. Got it back up by O'Reilly. O'Reilly moves it in for Brunik. Cross he goes to Desnoyers. Brunik's driving the net, and he batted that wide. Here's O'Reilly back on it, loose in the corner. And Brunik retreats back to his blue line position as the Czechs bring it out. This is Murtka. Murtka plays for Seattle in the Western League. 16 players on the Czech roster play for CHL teams. That's the same number of CHL players that Canada has. And another Nestershov plays in the NCAA. Murtka tied up by Luchenko at center ice. Now knocked down by Kooks. In across the line on one knee, bats that back to the corner as Luchenko goes after it. Benak gathers it back up for the Czechs. Rink wide pass for Curran. Max Curran across the line. He had Luchenko over him, and Luchenko's chipped it back to center ice. Benak looks ahead for Pesanichka. And back is Danford. Around for Aitchison. Lifts that to Reshny, and Cole Reshny up for Braden Coots. Coots drops it back to Luchenko. Waiting for help off the bench. Drops it back for Parekh. He shoots. And that got through, but the save is made by Orshulak. 13:24 to go here in the opening period. No score in the semifinals between Canada and Czechia here in St. Paul.
This Canadian team has been an offensive juggernaut, and their leading scorer, Zane Parekh, sitting on 10 points, just 2 behind Alex Pietrangelo for the most in a single tournament. How about our guy Carlo Koliakovo on there as well? And the way the power play is going, Canada's got 2 more games. Would not surprise anyone to see Zane Parekh at the top of that list by the end of this tournament.
Patrick Augustus said to us yesterday, we need to be shorthanded 3 times or fewer to have a chance here against this Canadian power play. Misa in for the face-off. They're going to step on Hope. Scramble draw controlled by the Czechs. Novotny plays it around for Pesanichka. Stepping up is Reed to slap that back in the corner for Ginla. Misa comes in for it. The puck goes over the head of Reed. He retreats and kicks that back around as he's got Tittelbach all over him. Novotny flipped that wide. Martone backhands it back around, looking for Parekh. And Parekh. That pass broken up at center ice, picked up by Novotny. And Novotny comes across the line. The play's offside.
You can see the problems Czechia is giving Canada. The pace of the forecheck and the aggressiveness up ice is not allowing Canada the time to have a clean look, to make a crisp pass, and to get on the routes going on the attack. It's been, turnovers or chips, and Canada can't get impatient. Zane Parekh just coughed that one right up the middle, looking for a seam that wasn't available.
Twelve of the players in this game played in last year's quarterfinal match won by the Czechs, 6 aside. And here's Karls with it. Back across to Verhoff. As Martin tried to chip that down, and now does, as Hage goes after the loose puck. Granchak up on the boards of Fibiger. He finds Kubiesa. That's stolen at center ice by Martin. Time it at the line. Kubiesa had his pass broken up by McKenna, who feeds it back to Verhoff. 3 draft-eligible players on the ice for Canada right now. The 2 defensemen and McKenna. Hage banks it back down to Verhoff. Centers for McKenna that bounced away from him. And now Klima back the other way. He's got Granchak with him, but McKenna came back and broke that pass up. Picked back up at center ice by Hage. Looks ahead to Martin. McKenna telling us yesterday the biggest thing he's worked on in his game this year is defensive play. That's stolen by Hage. In comes Hage. Trying to pull that back around. Klima breaks it up, and the Czechs break it back the other way. 3-on-2. Klima fires it back down to the Canadian zone as the Czechs need a change. Sikora had that taken away by Aitchison. Back around to Danford. Ben Danford lifts that back to center ice. It bounces down to McKenna. Looks ahead for O'Reilly as McKenna heads off on a change. Bumped around by Baudouin. There's a sharp angle shot by Aitchison, almost tipped home by O'Reilly. Danford back around to O'Reilly. Leaves that there for Baudouin. Paul Baudouin. Back down to O'Reilly. That's taken away by Galvis, and Thomas Galvis moves it ahead. Put back across by Chihas. And that pass from Nestershil missed him. Loose behind the goal for Sikora. Banks that back at the point. Merker's shot that goes wide. And O'Reilly racing to it. Galvis took it away from him. Thomas Galvis. Pivots back. Galvis drops that back. Chihas, his stick broke on him. Now back at the point is Merka. Kept the puck right on the line. Merka being watched by Desnoyers. And Nestershil plays it back around as Baudouin goes after Politin. They collide in the corner. Politin with it. Back for Nestershil to the point to Galvis. And the elusive Galvis, one of the top scoring demon in the tournament, winds in and shoots. That was blocked by O'Reilly. And now at the line, Benak brings it in, but the play's offside at the Canadian line.
And Michael Hage has been really good for Canada's tournament. Good defensive positioning. Gets lost. Now he's trying to get a seam on the way in. He just can't find a way through Fibiger. Once he delayed, he missed handle on the back pull, and there's Michael's mom. I mean, yeah, wanting him to shoot as well. Lovely feature on the Hages.
Yeah, amazing story. Grew up a Canadiens fan, drafted by Montreal. Wasn't invited to try out for Canada last year, and has more than made up for the time lost this year. One of the top scorers in the NCAA when he left for the Canadian camp. Coots. Moves it ahead for Luchenko. That's played around by Pesanichka. Now Politin looks ahead for Curran. Max Curran comes in. Poke check there by Brunek. And Coots back on it. Bumps that back around to McKenzie. The twice undrafted Ethan McKenzie. Up ahead is Cole Reshny. Drops it back for Brunek moving in. Brunek. Trying to hook that back in front, but right on goal. And that's put away from Orszalak. Still loose. And Coots knocked that wide. At center ice, here is Novotny. Lined up there by Misa, plays it back down to the Canadian zone. A low event first period so far after a very high event 7-5 first beating on Boxing Day. Brunek, lead pass to McKenzie. Crossing goes to Martone, who slaps it back down to the Czech zone. Fibiger goes back. Off the glass and back down to the Canadian end as Reed goes back. That almost hit the referee's skate as Parekh lifts it back to center. Gloved down by Novotny. In comes Novotny, bumped there by Parekh. Gathered back up and brought out by Martone. Crossing goes to Misa, that was poked away, and Adam Jiricek brings it up. Jiricek, the overtime hero for the Czechs in their win against the Finns with a spectacular between the legs goal he scored. Hook Plays that back to Jiricek, shoots! Ivan Kovic swatted that away. Here's Klima, tied up by Misa in the corner. At the point, Fibiger plays it back around. Waiting for it is Martone. Slaps it back around. Perek can't get to it. He's tired. Been out there a while. Now Klima, bumped by Reed. On the boards, Martone Canada needs a change here. Martone plays it back to center ice. Fibiger looks in for Dranchak, picked back up by Hage. Swings that rink wide for Reed. And Reed, the last guy trying to get off, he can't. And now Klima brings it back in for the Czechs. Klima shoots, that goes wide on the other side. Got it back up by Dranchak. Here's Martin back on it. Brady Martin back around. Galvas knocked that down. And Galvas played it back in. Patrick Augusta, the Czech coach, told us yesterday, no question in his mind that Galvas, who's undrafted, could play in the NHL. Undersized, but very skilled defenseman. Lifted back to center. Sikora knocks that down. Now Sikora, the Washington draft, winds it across the line. Sikora got to slide it back in front and does. That's hammered wide by Chias. And McKenna getting to it. Chipped that ahead, now knocked down and played back in by Pesanichka. Czechs have had the edge in territorial play here for the last few minutes as Baudouin plays that back to center ice.
Man almost jumped out for Galvas there. Close.
Nestor Schill plays that back across. Sikora. He watched by Baudouin. Sikora plays it back for Pesanichka. And across the man. Down he goes to Nestor Schill. Nestor Schill drops that back. Mann works in on O'Reilly and shoots. And Ivan Kovic knocks that up and out of play. 7:18 to go in the first period. There's no score in the semifinal here in St. Paul. Every split-second decision can save or cost a life. The Max original series, The Pit, returns for new season Thursday, January 8th on the USA Network. Stream on Crave.
Canada still trying to find the flow to their game. They have had a hard time breaking down the pressure up ice of Czechia.
Luchenko for the face-off in the Canadian zone.
So many centers on every Canadian line. It's always a strong side guy taking the draw. Luchenko 65% for the tournament.
Philadelphia first rounder, the youngest player ever to play for the Flyers when they made their lineup this year. Face-off one cleanly back by Curran. Pesanichka plays it back around to Politin. He's tied up there by McKenzie. It's moved back out by Reshny. Not just man, the plays for Prince Albert in the Western League. Moved out ahead, but the play's offside at the Canadian line.
Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
What we haven't seen as much of this first period we saw in their first matchup. A lot of the chippiness and the chirping and the scrums. It's mostly been whistle to whistle, hard and physical, but less extracurriculars by both teams.
A number of the Canadian players telling us yesterday they felt they might have been too jacked up for that game on Boxing Day.
It's understandable against Czechia, given the last 2 years, first game of the tournament.
Shanko dumped at center ice as Pesanichka gathers up the loose puck. Pesanichka plays for Portland in the Western League. Is a second-round pick of Utah. 12 of these Czechs are drafted, 3 in the first round. Benak had that taken away by Luchenko. Now Benak moves it back across to Politin. He's got Curran jumping up. Curran plays it back for Benak moving in. Benak spins it back in front. That's knocked away by Burdick. And meantime, Ivan Kovic was spilled. And a penalty coming to Czechia. It's going to be Politin who goes off for goalie interference.
It's pretty good discipline by McKenzie not to go barreling into Politin. Once he realized a penalty was being called, take the power play. And Patrick Augusta said, how many penalties?
3.
No more than 3. Well, you don't want to take one in the offensive end. Nobody near him at all. That is just careless by Politin. He's spinning around trying to find a potential pass, but goes right into the crease. Obvious call they have to make. And so Canada, who hasn't had too much time on the offensive end, gets to their first power play. A power play which is 8 for 17.
Number 18, minor penalty, interference on the goalkeeper.
And Ivan Kovic could take that little bump, and you could take the power play. No point in pushing back right now.
Canada 8 for 17 with 7 different goal scorers. Brady Martin leads the way with 2. He's out there now along with Reshny to take the face-off. Hage, McKenna the other forwards, and Parekh on the back end. It'll be Seeker to take the draw for the Czechs, who does it all for them. And Canada controls out the face-off. Here is Parekh. Zane Parekh back around to Hage. Hage has a look. Back across to McKenna. Martin parked in front. Here's Reshny trying to feed that back door. Fibiger got in the way of that. Now Parekh has to come back and pick it up for Martin, who taps it back, but the puck goes back down to the Canadian zone. Parekh up ahead to Hage. And Hage rings that back around, waiting for it is McKenna. Looking back for Hage, that was broken up. Mon couldn't clear it out though. Knocked down, and now it's bumped out by Novotny. Parekh, second try, moves it across to McKenna. Gavin McKenna feeds it down to Reshny, walking in. Reshny feeds it back across. Hage, oh, what a stop by Orsulak. No goal, they say. Another chance for Parekh. That's turned away. Orsulak down. And the Canadians looking back, trying to figure out how that didn't go in the net.
They had it on the quick counter. McKenna slips it through to Reshny. He's got options. Galore goes back door. That one goes off the post. And it's Hage.
It's pad
post. Oh boy, got a lot of net to hit. He just got it too far to the middle, and the puck comes back out. And Team Canada's bench parents cannot believe that did not go in. And the scramble ensues after that. Another good look for Parekh.
Now
was turned aside.
McGinley was taking it. It's moved down the ice by Chihaj, but he rockets that into the Canadian bench, and the faceoff will stay in the Czech zone.
Hage has been so good in this tournament, and it was right there for him. He had the right side of the net, anywhere on that side. Oh boy, the toe of the pad, then the post. Could not get much closer than that for Michael Hage. Cannot believe he didn't score that.
Face-off won by Luchenko, but so cleanly it got by Parekh. Still a minute to go on the Canadian power play. Parekh. Up ahead to Misa. He was tied up by Seeker, rather. And at the line, it's held by Chihas for the moment. And Chihas will trail back to the Czech zone, now wristed back down to the Canadian end. Ivan Kovic taps out ahead for Parekh. Zane Parekh slings it ahead for Luchenko. Jet Luchenko winds in for Misa. Michael Misa. In the corner with it, Misa. Back to his old junior teammate, Parekh. Cross he goes to Martone. Martone to Parekh with a shot that goes wide. Rebound, Misa fanned on that. Still loose, Misa with it. Settles it, they score! TJ Ginla, power play goal, and Canada has the lead.
That's why you cannot take penalties against Canada. This is a different looking power play. Parekh drives it to the point, broken play, and Michael Misa. That is great poise in a tight area. First one, Karam's off him, he's trying to shoot it, but when it gets poked back to him by Luchenko, see the early look. He spots Iginla, knows where he wants to go with it, and then takes a half step to get himself a little bit more time and space, create the angle, and Iginla buries it. And it was Misa who said he owed Iginla one.
Yes.
After taking one away from him last game, he gives him one that he could not miss.
He inadvertently on the goal line knocked one out. So TJ Ginla has goals in 3 straight for Canada. He has 4 in the tournament, and the Canadians have a 1-0 lead with another power play goal. Ethan McKenzie, a big hit there on Kubiesa. Now it's knocked down by Bruno. 5th time in 6 games the Czechs have allowed the first goal of the game.
When Canada's power play goes out there, it feels inevitable. It feels like they are going to score. First unit, second unit, call whatever one you want. And Jet Luchenko, just some unsung work here. Getting those loose puck and intentionally getting out of the pile onto the blade of Misa. And you see the little shoulder check to find Iginla. Fibiger gets puck focused. And just like that, it's 1-0 for Canada.
Misa and Luchenko draw the assists on the goal by Iginla. Pesanichka shoots, and that's knocked away with the blocker of Ivan Kovic. Hoke with it. Plays that back to Pesanichka. Tipped in front by Novotny, but taken away by McKenzie. And McKenzie, who hasn't stopped smiling since he arrived in the Canadian camp, moves out ahead to Hage. Hage pivots back in the slot. What a move by Hage. Feeds it back across and off the post goes McKenna. Aitchison feeds it down. It's knocked away by Orszalak. Big in the corner. Bond and Martin go at it. Knocked down in center ice by Hage. Brought back in by Tittlebach. He shoots. Ivan Kovic to stop on that. And he'll hang on. 3:39 to go here in the first period. TJ Ginla from Lake Country, BC has Canada up one.
Brady Martin has been the catalyst for Canada from the day one of pre-competition games, and he is smarting on the bench. He's the hitter, not the hittee, but his right shoulder maybe took the worst of that one. Man sees him coming, gets up underneath him a little bit, falls awkwardly. And even young guys get a little achy when they're hit that hard.
Tied for the Canadian goal-scoring lead with 4. It's a 4-way tie now with TJ Ginla in it.
It's good balance.
Well, that was Patrick Augusta's comment yesterday. We don't know who the head of the snake is. Who do you attack here to try to shut down? There's a lot of depth here.
You know what it is? It's the power play.
Right, and that's what he talked about.
Yep.
Aitchison flips that back down to the check zone. Bouncing puck knocked away from O'Reilly by Jiricek, but O'Reilly keeps up the battle. On the other side, here's Danford stepping up. Danford shoots off the side of the goal. Bouncing puck picked up, and a chance for Desnoyers goes wide. And the puck skips off the glass, up and out of play.
Better forecheck by Canada, though. Sam O'Reilly draws in the attention, forces the hard ring to a Canadian defender, and then good things happen. Danford outside of the net, and Desnoyers, who has been so effective, can't get the puck to sit down. And he, whoa, that is so close to going in. Oh. Catches the shoulder pad and just a tip of it. Otherwise, it'd be 2-0 Canada.
Now Rashty steps in for the face-off against Curran, which doesn't sound like much of a Czech name. He's born in Prague. His dad is Irish. Double draw, control by the Czechs. Galvas to the line, but not out. Reed kept it alive, and now Curran's got it back. Banks it back down to the Canadian zone as Coots goes back. Coots turns it over. Chance for Benak at the side of the goal. Galvas a backhand shot, kicked out, and Kovic rebound, score! Curran cashes, and the game is tied at
1. That's a big goal for Czechia. Canada had a couple good chances to maybe make it 2. And Czech comes right back. Coots, shoulder check, and he's trying to go D to D, but the play is read by Benak, and then there is nobody down in front of the net in support because everyone's releasing on a play they think is going to be made behind the net. There's Parekh, there's Reed, the 2 defensemen. Neither one of them near Max Curran, who's able to slide it just under the pad of Ivan Kovic. The problem on turnovers when you're going back for the puck is everyone's releasing for the pass, and the coverage is not in position. Ends up with Max Curran on the doorstep.
His first in the tournament place for the Edmonton Oil Kings. Last year, he was the Canadian Hockey League Scholastic Player of the Year. His average in his 13 core courses was 100. If he'd lost, there'd be an investigation. So 1-1 the score late in the first period. Czechs tied the game 3 times against Canada on Boxing Day. They've done it again here in the semifinals. Porter Martone works in. Now Martone back on it. Verhoff. Back down to Misa. Verhoff shoots. That's blocked in front. Rebound loose. And there's a Ginla feeding it back across. And Pesanichka knocked the loose puck away. Now Klima chips it back down. This will be an icing call against the Czechs.
And Max Curran's done a lot of good job on that all-CHL line in support, but not getting the offense done. But the quick step of Benak knocks it down. And you can see everyone's just running around. And puck caroms to Curran. Ivan Kovic gets the post, but can't get the pad flat when he gets there. and it drifts just underneath them. Should not be surprised these two teams trading goals back and forth.
Well, it was 7-5 on Boxing Day. Cage for the face-off against Dronchak. Off the face-off, a scramble draw controlled by the Czechs as Mann plays that around. McKenna comes after it. Poke that free for the moment, Pesanichka. Pass goes off the heel of Novotny, across for Pesanichka. Up for Novotny. In comes Novotny, a shot. Ivan Kovac knocks that away. Cage. Up at Luchenko. Out with McKenna. Luchenko drops it off for McKenna. Gavin McKenna, great pass across to McKenzie. Shoots, tips it wide. And now
Luchenko goal interference
is going to get it here.
Now, this is one of those ones, if he scores this pass, it won't count. He's saying he got shoved in from behind. Was he stopped and pushed into the goaltender? Good little cross and drop. He goes. He looks like he's standing still. No, he gets shoved into the goaltender by Fibiger. He stopped. That's a bad call.
Not working. Canada number 17 has a 2-minute minor for cross-checking.
They're calling for the cross-check.
It's either cross-check or fall on top of him. It's probably better to put your stick out to brace him, but that should not be a penalty. That's a contact that's initiated by the defenseman, Fibiger. But also worth noting, Luchenko out on the ice, Brady Martin not. Took his spot on that line.
Just the 13th time Canada's been shorthanded in their 6th game. They've allowed one power play goal so far.
Number 17.
Czechs are good in the power play. They've been 6 for 19 so far. Kubiesa leads the way. He's got 2, and he's got the puck right now. Kubiesa with it. Speeds that back for Galvis, and that pass misfired. And Galvis spins back. Sikora moves in on O'Reilly. Sikora takes the return pass from Novotny. And Sikora winds in, feeds that down, kicked across by Chias. And now Baudouin on it. Minute to go in the period.
1 minute left in the first period.
Fed back across to Sikora. He's got some time. Looks for Novotny. Loose puck tapped wide by Kubiesa. Back in the corner for Novotny. He looks back for Sikora. Winds, walks in. Feeds it across. Kubiesa shot. Ivan Kovac the save. And now bumped to the line, but not out by O'Reilly. Sikora moves in. Centers it. Taps on goal. Ivan Kovac. 2 point-blank saves on Novotny. And the rebound sent down the ice by Aitchison. 30 seconds to go in the period. Galvis winds in. That pass in behind Curran. Got it there by Coots. Reed back around to Brunik. And that's back out to center ice. Jiricek to Benak. And Reed knocked that down. It's bumped back out by Coots as Benak has to hustle back. And time winds down here in the period. The Czechs will have 17 seconds of power play time to start the 2nd period, but they came oh so close to taking the lead late.
Ivan Kovac was sharp on the penalty kill to close out the period. The one-timer, good save there off the chest, good movement. But the rebounds here for Novotny. Tip 1, rebound 2. Ivan Kovac swallowed both up. Nothing for Novotny to find low in the net. And a good period for Czechia ends with them pushing on the power play.
1-1 the score, heading for our first intermission on semifinal Sunday at the World Junior Hockey Championship.
IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by TELUS, now offering 5-year plan price lock on select mobility and internet plans. By Esso, from the Esso Medals program to representing Team Canada, Esso is dedicated to Canada's game. And by Tim Hortons, proudly supporting over 100,000 Timbits hockey players in Canada.
Your first intermission. intermission here on TSN. We're even at 1. TJ Ginla on the power play for Canada, his 4th of the tournament. He's standing by with our Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Tej, Michael Misa said he owed you a goal after blocking one in the quarterfinal game. Is it fair to say he evened the scoring there?
I think so, yeah.
Did he say anything to you after your power play goal?
No, I mean, it's just a great play by him, great vision, and hopefully we can feed off of that a little bit.
Look, your power play continues to be the best in the tournament. Why do you think it's been so effective?
I think we're doing a good job of using our skill, but being direct as well. And yeah, it's been good so far.
If you think back to the Boxing Day game, that was a high-scoring affair. This game much closer, much tighter. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, it's intense. I think throughout the course of the tournament, both teams have gotten better and cleaned a few things up. But yeah, we'll need to come out flying in the second and have a big push here.
Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
James Duffy back with Cheryl Pounder, Frankie Corrado, and Jeff O'Neill. Canada, if you enjoyed your stress-free quarterfinal, I don't think you're going to get one this time. If you've watched Czechia throughout the tournament, this is what they do, that aggressive forecheck. And if we can conclude anything from that 20 minutes, this is going to be a battle.
Yeah, they got their hands full, James. Whenever a coach uses the phrase, we got three-quarter ice, that's basically a nice way to say we got dominated. And that's exactly what the Czechs did in that period. All facets of the game, the forecheck, the cycle. Canada dumped it out. They regrouped and they cycle. The only momentum Canada got was on their power play, and they created some momentum. They desperately needed that to happen. And guess what? It was just from simplicity. Get the puck back to Parak. He misses the net. And then they just battle over a loose puck and they get it in front and Ginla puts it in. They really needed that and they gave it right back, unfortunately. But this is the way these guys got to do it, even with a man advantage. Just fight for loose pucks, get it to the front of the net, and show your skill in front of the net.
There was an opportunity for someone on Team Canada to be a momentum changer, whether it was going to be with a hit or a breakout pass or something that changes the course of action. Well, it's the power play. The power play is the ultimate momentum changer right now for Canada, and this is the first opportunity off the stick of Michael Hage. Now, this is not going to be a goal, but eventually it leads to the goal, and so many times you hear people say, listen, our power play can't lose us momentum, it has to gain us momentum. No power play in this tournament is gaining more momentum right now for their team than Canada's.
When I talked to Dale Hunter before the Boxing Day game, he knew exactly who these Czechs were. He said that aggressive forecheck, the way they counter, we cannot turn the puck over in our own end. We have to make the smart, safe play. It didn't happen in that game. He said the exact same thing coming into this one, and the same thing tends to be happening.
The Czech forecheck is coming, and it's unrelenting, and Canada has to do a better job of handling that. And right now, too many times, Canadian defensemen are going back for puck. They're under pressure, and they're coughing it up. This is the first shift of the game. Cough up a puck leads to a chance. There's the forecheck again. You have to be able to make quick decisions, and ultimately, it will cost Canada in the first period as Braden Coots goes back for a puck. That's a pretty routine play, except the forecheck is there, and it leads to the Max Curran goal. So very important for Team Canada to handle the pressure of the Czechs. So many times teams play against Canada and say we're going to trap it up. Not the case. The forecheck is going to keep coming.
And the big question is the how to, though, manage that kind of pressure. And when you're a defender, you have to make sure that you're not turning that puck back all the time and bringing that forecheck to you, because the Czechs are taking time and space away in all three zones. You talk about the offensive zone, but how about the neutral zone? They're going to read when you're vulnerable. Look at this step up by Jiricek. He says, listen, I'm one-on-one here, so I'm going to use that stick and that leverage. Also, cutting ice in half. Look at the squeeze. You squeeze to the board. You cut the ice in half, and guess what? There is no room, nowhere to go. Canada wants to play off the rush. Guess what? The Czechs want them to play off of the cycle. So guess what? You have to get off of the walls. They only had one opportunity off of the cycle. So Canada has to figure out a way when they are on the boards to get that second quick in quicker and try and work that puck low to high fast, because right now they're getting suffocated by the Czechs, who are closing so quickly at 5-on-5.
90% of those turnovers you guys just detailed, all on your backhand. I'm not making this stuff up. You cannot go on your backhand in your own zone if you're unsure.
Ivan Kovic, mostly excellent, got unlucky on the goal a little bit because I think Curran was trying to elevate that, and so he lifted his pad and he fans on it, goes under his pad.
And especially late in the period, Jack Ivan Kovic was excellent. He's going to have to be the rest of the way, but makes a number of key saves. And listen, it's such a fine line now between winning and losing, and in a game where it's going to be back and forth, like both teams are going to have their momentum swings, and as we saw in that first period, there were some mistakes by Canadian defensemen. You need your goaltender to be sharp, and he's going to have to continue that, but he was good in the first period.
Brutal call, by the way, on the goaltender interference.
It's a bad call.
They only have 17 seconds left of that power play. The Czechs do. When we return and start the second period, we'll take you inside the Team Canada room, 1-1 through 1. When we return, if you missed the earlier semi, one of the wildest overtimes and shootouts in World Junior history, we'll show it to you. Final Minnesota madness between Sweden and Finland. It's 3-2 Sweden late in the third. Jonas Orlainen jumps on the loose puck and beats Lovi Harenstam, and we are tied at 3. Is another heartbreak coming for Sweden in the semis. We go to overtime. Sweden's Viggo Bjork breaks in. Little mini breakaway, can't beat Petteri Rimpinen. A few minutes later, Bjork in alone again, can't finish. Moments later, Bjork again. These are not replays, people. Another breakaway. Then Bjork again. 4 breakaways. Rimpinen stops every one of them. Off to a shootout. Guess who shoots first? It's Bjork. Stopped again by Rimpinen. 5th round after Finland scored. Jack Berglund has to score to keep Sweden alive. Clutch. Julius Miettinen, now next for Finland, denied. And so in the 8th round, Anton Frundell, who hit both posts on his last attempt, plays hero. Sweden wins a crazy game. 4-3, they're off to the gold medal game. Whew. We'll see what we have in store for the next 40 minutes and maybe more in this one. Czechia ahead on most of our Sportlogic numbers. The only advantage for Canada, their chances off the rush. They have a 4-1 advantage. It's 1-1 on the board so far. Second period just ahead with Gordon Miller and Mike Johnson.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Wegovy. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
Back here in St. Paul, Minnesota, TJ Ginla gave Canada the lead on the power play, his 4th of the tournament. From there, the Czechs outshot Canada 7-1 the rest of the way in that period, including Max Curran's first goal of the tournament to tie it up at 16:56. The Czechs had the edge in shots, the edge in offensive zone time, and in high-danger scoring chances. Gordon Miller back with Mike Johnson. That was a very impressive first period for the Czechs.
That was what a really good period would look like for Czechia against Canada, where they apply the pressure. They're not sitting back. Teams understand if you let Canada play on the offensive end, you're going to be in trouble. So the best way to not have to do that is to pressure up ice. Or the panel talking about the forward-checking pressure. Czechia doesn't back up. You need more connectivity between the defensemen and the forwards. There's got to be at least one forward passing option that is not 70 feet away, because if you keep asking who doesn't make that pass, they won't make it. They keep going back of their own end, turnover to happen, and eventually a goal. Now, Canada knows that if they can break that press, they'll get good chances. And so we'll see if they can clean it up in the second and third. Jetlachenko still in the box, 17 seconds left in his penalty.
And no Brady Martin on the Canadian bench to start the second period.
In a game where Dale Hunter elected to go with 8 defensemen and just 12 forwards. There is no extra available.
We're back at the point by Jiricek, so Carter Bear and Liam Greentree are healthy scratches for Canada. Jiricek moves that up, 3 shots on goal for the Czechs in the power play. Itchson goes back as they back to 5-on-5. Ben Danford picks that free, trying to chip that. Secret picked it off, and now Luchenko out of the box has it for O'Reilly. O'Reilly back for Luchenko. The flip knocked down by Jiricek. Luchenko gets in, poked that just wide. Baudouin back around. Knocked down by Danford. Fires it back in for Baudouin. His centering pass goes off a skate. Luchenko trying to take it free and does for Baudouin. Plays it back. Danford miscued that shot. Martone trying to reach in for it. And Sikora lifts that back. Kicked ahead by Danford for Martone. Pass goes back to Perek. That's knocked away, and Chiaz has it back for the Czechs. Glove down by Danford. Plays it back across for Perek. Lead pass to Ginla. TJ Ginla trying to poke that ahead. Chiaz took it away. Now Danford has it back and back down to the Czech zone. Galvis brings it back around. Kicked down by Politin and fed back down to the Canadian zone as Perek goes back. Perek got Benak on him. McGinley plays it back around. Mirka steps up, but McGinley got to that. McGinley, lead pass for Misa. Michael Misa, rink wide for Perek jumping up. And Perek moves in, but the play is offside at the Czech line.
Something that we have seen all tournament long has been the superior speed of Jet, appropriately named Luchenko, causing problems. There's another one, quick stick and a chance right in front for Luchenko. Jumps around Jiricek, just can't quite corral it on the fresh ice. And there's Dad, Jim, Mom Joan, Mr. Jenna, all trying to will that one. Brother Jace joining the party too, the whole Luchenko family.
Jace won the, with the London Knights, won the Marlborough's Holiday Invitational Tournament. The family had to divide and conquer to attend these two tournaments.
All right, Jet, I set the bar for you. Go follow it up.
Now that clearing attempt knocked down by Hage. Hage back in the corner. Feeds that back in the point. McKenzie, a shot that goes off the leg of Curran. And Politin has it back for the Czechs. And across the line, he winds around Hage. Politin drops it back for Pesanichka. Picked up by McKenna. Chips that back for Hage, and Canada's off to the races. Hage moves in on Galvis. Hage still on it. Back around to Coots. And McKenzie knocks that down. In for Hage. Centers for McKenna. McKenna pivots back. Coots at the line along. Wrist shot floats just wide. And lifted it back up by Benak to center ice. McKenzie has it back for Canada. Breshnik moving in with Coots and McKenna. And in the midst of a change, is batted back down to the Czech zone, and Pesanichka lead pass to Hook. Danford can't clear it out. There's Novotny with a sharp angle shot, stopped by Evan Kovic, and he'll hang on.
So for the first time, some juggling on Canada's bench with Martin out of the lineup. Dale Hunter put Coots up with Hage and McKenna to start the period. And I wonder if they're just going to rotate an extra guy through every fourth and not break up the fourth line per se and play three. Canada's strength is their depth. They're better with their lineup than the opposition. They want to keep using that.
Face off control by the Czechs. Novotny plays it back around. Tittlebach racing to it. Tittlebach racing to it. And Benoit knocked that down. Luchenko. Puck taken away by Novotny. Now Mon with a shot. Goes off the stick of Aitchison. Here's Reshnik. Oh, Reshnik. Got to move that ahead. The puck's still on his feet. Picked up by Tittlebach. And Tittlebach pivots back in the corner. Ace on the other side. Novotny tied up there by Danford. And Danford carefully not to hold up Tittlebach too much. And now Novotny back on it. Novotny spins back. Plays that to Mon. Back across he goes to Pesanichka. Luchenko almost poked that free. Danford. Backhands at it for Luchenko, but not out. Pesanichka shoots. Dribbling puck in front. Ivan Kovic down. And a great stop there in tight on Tittlebach on the rebound. And Ivan Kovic's lost his goal stick. Pesanichka's shot was blocked. Chance in front. Tittlebach shoots, scores! Adam Tittlebach gives the Czechs the lead.
Good hard shift of offensive zone cycling. And Ivan Kovic loses his stick as Novotny skates through it. And now he's scrambling. And the rebound gets out to Tittlebach. Quick little flick. And that is a quick flick from Tittlebach. Promoted to this line for this game. He generally has been the 13th forward.
His first point of the tournament.
And he pops on one. But that was just good work down low. Aitchison, Danford could not stop the cycle, get a pin, and make a pass. Danford had it on his stick. He gave it right back to the blue line. When you get it, you have to do everything you can to make a good pass with it. Unless you're getting yourself troubles.
Tittlebach from the Vancouver Giants of the Western Hockey League. Canada's only trailed twice in the tournament, in both games against the Czechs. Now a chance 2-on-1. Here they come again. Sikora walks right in. Sikora fans on the shot, still to the side of the goal. Now lifted back out by Reed. And as Libergo goes back, icing called, and the Canadians on their heels here to start the second period.
And one more look at the goal. Ivan Kovic loses his stick as he's out of the crease as Novotny's going after the puck. And the breaks down here, no one's able to quite get there. Aitchison is a little bit quiet in closing on Tittlebach, and Ivan Kovic doesn't see it, can't react to it. And the Czechs have their first lead of the game.
And the word from Team Canada is that Brady Martin will not return tonight.
That is a huge loss for Canada.
Jiricek shoots, that ramps off a stick and wide. Sam O'Reilly on it. Looks ahead to Iginla, knocked down by Politin backing up. Politin shoots, that goes off the stick of Iginla. Here's Politin again, he fired that high. Vibiger looks back down, Curran centers it, and Benak's shot was blocked. Now Jiricek a drive, that's blocked. And the puck once again goes up and out.
Okay, so Team Canada would have had that news in the intermission that Brady Martin's not going to be back. They'll miss his physicality, his power play, his leadership, his jam. But usually if you lose a forward, it's not a big deal because you can dress an extra forward. They don't have that luxury with 8 defensemen dressed in the game. And you're seeing on the rotation different combinations that we have not seen. Here's McKenna with Martone and Misa. Canada's been pretty consistent with their lines the whole tournament, and now injury has forced that out the window.
Face-off control by the Czechs. Sikora fades it back to Murtka. The shot blocked in front. Got it back up by Galvas. Feeds it back across. Chias, a quick wrist shot. And Ivan Kovic makes the save, and the shot's piling up for the Czechs now. 13-6, they lead in the game.
9-1 since T.J. Iginla scored Canada's goal. And just trying to find an answer to settle things down, get a little bit more control in their own end. Once again, the offensive zone, they have no problem. They just got to get there more often.
Eason for the face-off, wins that back to Aitchison. Lifted back down to the Czech zone. Little backspin on that as Galvas is back to pick it up. The backbone of this Czech team is the 2 defensemen, Galvas and Jiricek. 2 very different players. Picked up by Sikora. He winds in. Sikora spins and shoots. That was blocked in front by Aitchison. And that took a bite of the case on Aitchison. Chias with it. Back down to Sikora. Misa steps into him. 5 gone here in the second period. Czechs lead 2-1. Winner gets Sweden in the gold medal game tomorrow night. The loser will play the Finns for bronze earlier in the day. Murtka moves in. It's poked ahead by McKenna. And Martone almost sprung Misa. The pass in behind him. Chias back with it. Across to Murtka. Up for Benak, plays it down as Verhoff goes back for Canada. Keaton Verhoff to Ben Danford. Slapped ahead by Hage for McKenna. Now it's Martone out as Martone chips it in deep. Pesanichka lost the puck to Martone for a moment. Along the boards is Politin. Rink wide, he goes for Benak. As Carl stepped up on him. Carson Carl's leveled Benak there. Here's Hage back with it. And Hage on the center ice, knocked down by Mann. And fed back down to the Canadian zone as Carls goes back. Into the Cypress River, Manitoba. Carls is tied up, and now Iginla's got it back for Verhoff. Verhoff lifts that back to center. It dribbles back down to the Czech zone. Orszalak steered that away from Iginla. T.J. Iginla, who has the Canadian goal, feeds that back. Carls with a drive, goes off a skate. Coote skates by the puck. Now knocked down by Iginla. Iginla spun around by Pesanichka. Spins back again. Iginla. Cross ice pass intercepted there by Tittlebach. And Tittlebach's pass was bumped by Carls. And Verhoff stepped into his man as he knocked Chias off the puck. Carls up for Rashny. Chip back to the Czech zone as Canada changes. Jiricek, whose World Junior 2 years ago ended in the first period of the first game when he suffered a knee injury that ended his season. Carls up to the line but not out. Played back in by Dranchak. Here's Brunik. Lifts it back to center ice. That got away from Luchenko. Jiricek up for Dranchak. In comes Dranchak winding in. Shoots from a sharp angle. That's deflected wide as Brunik got a stick on that. Luchenko chips that to Carls. Up at Denoyer. His long shot knocked away by Orszalak. Gathered back up. by Kubiesa. Flips it back down to the Canadian zone as McKenzie goes back. Ethan McKenzie. Up for Brunik. Chip back in by O'Reilly. And Mirka hustles back to the loose puck. Baudouin stepped into him. McKenna knocks it down. Gavin McKenna feeds it back in deep. This is McKenna with O'Reilly and Baudouin for Canada. Fed back to Perek on the line. It's held by Reed with a shot that goes off the foot of Sekera. At the center of the goal, Baudouin looks down to McKenna. And McKenna pokes that back to Reed. Slides that to an open corner. O'Reilly waiting for it. Banks it back around to McKenna. Picked off by Mirka. He finds Sekera. Lifts it back down to the Canadian zone, but icing called against the Czechs.
Canada experiencing something that they have not a lot of time with, which is trailing. They have been in control, or feeling like they've been in control virtually the entire tournament. And this last 5 minutes of the first period, the first 8.5 of the second period, it's not felt that way. It has been Czechia largely pushing the pace of play.
This game is beginning like the tournament did. It was a wobbly 7-5 winner of the Czechs in the opener, then the 2-1 overtime win. Face-off control by Sekera, but at the line, knocked down by Danford. In for Misa. Michael Misa spins and shoots again, in shoots Ursulak. Can't find it, it's under his pads. And a late poke there by Martone, he's leveled. As Ursulak makes the save in tight. 11:26 to go here in the second period. Canada comes close, but the Czechs lead 2-1.
Referees continue to discuss the last scrum in front of Ursulak. Porter Martone going after a loose puck, and the point that is important is that this puck is loose. It's sitting in front of Ursulak. He doesn't know where it is, so a little poke by Martone. And you tell me if this tackle by Galvis warrants a penalty. They sort of jumped on him and driving his head towards the ice. After Iginla had the good chance, try to stuff it underneath. Ursulak gets up, it's under his chest, and that is something that we've seen call a penalty a lot in this tournament. Doesn't feel like that's going to be this time through. And there you see the loose puck, so Martone has the right to go and try to get it, and that's a good look at the penalty that Canada was looking to be called.
So face off in the offensive zone will be Reshny along with Desnoyers and Luchenko for Canada. We're going to see every combination here down the stretch with Canada down to 11 forwards.
28.5 minutes. Canada has 6 shots on net.
Face off won by the Czechs. And Politin trying to play that ahead. Tied up by Luchenko. Reed up for Perek. Now Reshny goes in on Mann. Reshny trying to work that free. Back at the point, held by Reed. Cameron Reed drops it off to Desnoyers. Walks right in. Desnoyers shoots. It was off the leg and wide. That was blocked by Curran. Desnoyers back with it. Winds in again. Desnoyers can't get a shot away as Benak broke that up. Desnoyers for Reshny, held by Perek. Knocked down by Reshny. And played back down to Desnoyers. Shields off Pasanichka. Desnoyers, great job there to outmuscle the Czech defenseman. It bounces back in the high slot. Reed holds it at the line. Reed drops it back for Coots. Coots with the wrist shot, that's blocked. Perek holds the line. And Perek back with it. Zane Perek pivots back. And Benak took that away from him and kicks it back to center. Hage brings it back. Politin is down as Hage works in, rolls that down. Ursulak makes the save and hangs on.
Everyone on both teams now sprawling all over the place trying to draw penalties.
Perek was knocked down.
Politin, who miraculously recovered from whatever happened in the neutral zone, is down there in the middle of the scrum. Perek went for a sail as well. We saw a lot of this in the first game. Tempers flaring. Perek thought he was held here, so a little cuff there. Politin tries to draw a penalty, doesn't get one. Canada wants a hold on it. Probably could have got a high stick there from Perek. Doesn't get one. Then down in front, Perek does the same thing, and the referees have this game teetering right now.
Hage, McKenna, and Coots is the forward line for Canada. As Hoke steps in for the face-off for the Czechs. 10:19 to go here in the second period. Hage wins it back to McKenna with a shot he ripped wide. Brunik shoots, that's wide as well. Racing to it is McKenna. Drops that back for McKenzie, a long drive, and Orszag steers that away. Up comes Novotny with it. Adam Novotny chips it back down to the Canadian zone. McKenzie on it. Leaves it there for Hage. Up to Coots. The lead pass, the return pass for Coots is broken up. And now Brunik lifts it back down to the Czech zone as Jiricek goes back for it. That's stolen by Hage. He was almost off to the races. By Brunik and back down to the Canadian zone as icing was waved off. Harrison Brunik. Second round pick of Pittsburgh a couple years ago. One of 3 second round picks on this Canadian roster. Brunik. Up to McKenzie. Fires it back down. A funny bouncer. Orszag got to be careful with that. And he'll freeze it with Baudouin breaking in.
Being a cover from a shot from beyond the zone, should be no commercial break, no change. Although I do see some guys going off for Czechia. Canada's got to find a little tempo here. Some puck battles won, some time in the offensive zone. If they do, they will get their chances.
Misa, again, Martone are together. That has been a standard line for Canada from the start of the tournament. Ball controlled by Merkin, but it's picked off by Iginla. TJ Iginla back to Martone. Jumping up is Verhoff for it. Poked by him and back down to the Canadian zone. Karls is back for it. Carson Karls being watched by Yuri Klima, who is not related to the longtime NHLer Peter Klima. I'm contractually obligated to say that once again. In comes Iginla, 2-on-1, shoots. Orszag makes the save on that and hangs on with Misa looking for the loose puck. 8:54 to go in the second period. Czechia leads Canada 2-1 in the semifinal.
Canada finds some open ice in an odd man rush. It's Michael Misa and TJ Iginla heading in as Martone chips it out. And Iginla with a nice pivot. Good decision probably to shoot the puck. He wants to get it to Misa, but he's got a back checker and the defenseman sprawled in the way, so he's trying to find a gap on Orszag. Here, look at it here. He's looking at Misa the whole way. This puck falls through the legs of Orszag in behind him again. As Iginla has been a dangerous, one of the few dangerous Canadian attackers so far.
Canada stuck on 6 shots with 8:54 to go in the second.
Can't imagine that shot clock's right since Iginla just hit him right in the chest. Right. As it moved.
Correct. Bangs it back in deep. Denayer had it knocked away by Merkin. And O'Reilly plays it down to Baudouin. Cole Baudouin works it loose, drops it back. Perek with a shot that goes high. Nestrashil. Off the puck to Denayer, brings it back around. Chihas. Plays it back again to Sikora. Moving with Nestrashil. Sikora walks right in, backhand shot, stopped by Evan Kovic.
Oh! Again, that was Sikora with his best, accidentally, completely on purpose fall into Ivan Kovic. Given what we just saw for the penalty to Jeftchenko, I have to wonder what the refs will do with this.
Rocco Stachowiak, the American ref, is standing in the slot, pointing at the penalty box, but we're not sure who he's taking.
Sikora knows exactly what he's doing. He gets a little nudge, there's no doubt, on the rebound. And he can't believe he's got a penalty, but there he goes.
Remember, Sikora was the villain last year in Ottawa after being hit by Cole Baudouin. We had a game misconduct in that game. Sikora was booed every time he touched the puck after that.
And he has been great for Czechia in this tournament. And you see correct pinches. He doesn't really have support underneath. It's a bit of a 2-on-1. So Sikora stops, looking for a rebound. Nothing wrong there. A little shove by Denayer, but it's...
Calling for a slash here.
So
It's after that. It's the scrum afterwards.
But watch his legs. He gets a little shove from Denway in the back, and just watch how his body reacts. Little shove coming up here, and he all of a sudden just goes rolling right over top of Ivan Kovic with edge work to push himself there. So the Luchenko penalty, which should not have been a penalty, was called for goal interference. Something similar here is the last chance for Parekh. A rolling puck. Still managed to get it upstairs. Oh my goodness.
Off the arm of Orszalak.
It's exactly the same as the Desnoyers chance early in the first, just off the top shoulder.
Canada 1 for 1 on the power play, now 9 for 18 in the tournament, but their key trigger man, Brady Martin, is in the dressing room injured. He leads the way with 2 power play goals for Canada. Hage plays that back, that's knocked ahead by Parekh. Zane Parekh. Up for Hage. Parekh for Reshny. Reshny back to Parekh for Hage. Hage moves in, has some room, and shoots at the goalpost. Up the other side, Parekh fires. Orszalak makes the stop on that. Straight out. Is that straight out? It is. The linesman says it's straight out. It's a 2-man advantage for Canada for 1 minute and 39 seconds. And Politin will go off.
Czechia, number 18, minor penalty, delay of game, puck out.
Chances for Hage, good patience, and he rings this one right off the post. Parekh into the pad of Orszalak as well. A lot like the Hage chance earlier, and then Politin sends it. But look at, Orszalak doesn't know where it is. It is shot into his pad on the far side of the net. Parekh had an empty net. We'll get a great look at it here. Now the puck's spinning like a top. You're trying to get on it quickly. And he just doesn't pull it to the short side. So what a chance. Minute 39.
Sam O'Reilly out there on the power play.
Brady Martin would be out here. He left after the first period and is not going to return tonight.
So the door wide open for Canada here. With 8 to go in the second period. Reshny wins it back to Parekh. Parekh back across to McKenna. Feeds it across. Hage shoots. Saved by Orszalak. Loose puck in the slot. Gathered back up by Reshny. McKenna can't hold the line. What a chance there.
How are these not going in the back of the net? What an effort.
In comes McKenna. Gavin McKenna feeds that back to Parekh. Hage for McKenna. Back he feeds it. Parekh with a shot. Orszalak makes the stop, and there's no rebound.
Canada got the look they wanted right off the faceoff. Parekh over to McKenna, through to Hage. We've seen this to win a game against Latvia in overtime on a 4-on-3. It's the same look, and it's, oh, what is that hit? Orszalak goes flying across. Off the body, off the post again. That's another post for Hage. 3 posts for him in this game.
Draw controlled by Canada. Hage back to Parekh. Parekh feeds it back across to McKenna. Orszalak fell for a moment. McKenna shoots. Orszalak save. Rebound loose in front for O'Reilly. Drops it back to Hage for Parekh. Parekh takes a return pass and fires. Scores! Zane Parekh sneaks it through, and Canada's tied the game at 2.
Canada finding the seams. Orszalak was flying all over the place. He caught an edge. He flew out of the net. And I don't wonder if this Parekh shot doesn't catch a piece of somebody in front. He says, enough of this. I'm going to shoot this. And it hits the pants of Reshny. It hits the pants of Reshny and stops. Slows down, and Orszalak, who's sprawling, trying to get a glove on it, falls down. And after all these close chances that don't go in, Parekh's mom and dad can celebrate one that does find the back of the net. And they did it in 42 seconds.
Right.
Still a minute 18 on the power play for Canada.
Now Luchenko out there. The lead pass goes to Misa. Misa, again, Lamartona, Luchenko, the forwards of the power play. Lifted back out. The race for it now is moving back as Parekh. Chias gets to it first. And Zane Parekh will pick up his 11th point of the tournament. He leads the tournament in points, and he's one off the Canadian record for defenseman, for points by defenseman in one tournament. Here's Martin with it. Feeds it back to Luchenko. Back across to Parekh. Zane Parekh, 45 seconds to go on the power play. Back to Luchenko. Luchenko to Parekh. There's Misa with a shot that was blocked by Fibbiger. Misa back for Parekh. A drive goes off the inboards, bounces to Iginla. Across to Misa. In for Iginla. Iginla winds out of the corner. Slides out back to Parekh. Back across to Misa. Iginla. Parekh centers it, tipped wide by Martone. Misa pokes that free. Race for it in the corner. Jiricek had the wall sealed. That's knocked down by Parekh. Picked free by Martone. Porter Martone spins back. Try to center it. Jiricek picks it off. It's gloved down at the line by Hage. Hage feeds it back in front. Martone across the pass. Missed Parekh. Power plays over as Politin steps back on. McKenzie drive. That deflects wide. 5 shots on goal all told for Canada on that power play. And it's a 2-2 tie. Jiricek out to center. The Canadians had to leave that. It would have been too many men. McKenzie to center ice to McKenna. Back across to Hage. Hage feeds it ahead. In comes McKenna. Yeah, McKenna was poke checked there by Chihas. Out to center ice. It's gloved down by McKenzie. Keeps it onside. McKenna trying to center it. Galvis has it back. 2 discarded sticks out there. Galvis moves away from Hage. And Thomas Galvis being forced there by Hage. McKenna got a stick on it. McKenna works that free. Knocked down by Hage. Now picked off by Jiricek. Up head to Politin. With Curran. Politin. Rink wide pass. Bennett moves it. And fans on the shot. Lead pass to McKenna. Bouncing puck is taken away by Galvis. Up head to Politin. The place offside at the Canadian line. 5:03 to go in the second period. Cole Reshny gets the bounce, and Canada gets a tie game here in the second period. All 5:03 to go. Cole Reshny from Macklin, Saskatchewan, the Calgary first rounder, has his 3rd of the tournament. Another power play goal for Canada. That's 10. Patrick Augusta just given it to the officials from the bench.
Patrick Augusta he knows better though. He said we can't take more than 3. They've taken 3 penalties. Canada scored 2 goals on them. And they knew this was going to be an issue if you are not disciplined, and the Sekera penalty was a bad penalty.
Galvis goes back, being forced by Coots. The centering pass knocked down by Galvis. Here's Novotny with it. Lead pass to Hook. In across the Canadian line, but it's offside.
So it was clearly a scrambly situation, the 5-on-3. Orszalak was flying all around. He's falling down here, and he's trying to catch the puck, but the puck hits Reshny's skates and slows down, so he can't stay vertical long enough, and the puck just falls over top. Parekh celebrating, Reshny celebrating, and Canada breathes a sigh of relief as they finally tie the game. It's been an offensive grind so far for Canada. They haven't had the puck in the offensive zone nearly as much as they'd like to. They've had to be good in the power play, and they have been.
Well, pre-tournament predictions were that the 3 best teams were Canada, Sweden, and Czechia, and they're the 3 teams left standing in the chase for the gold medal. Verhoff had that knocked away. Kubiesa centers it. Martone knocked that down. Here's Iginla. His pass intercepted, but brought back now by Martone. Porter Martone works in, drops it back to Iginla for Martone, and Klima broke that up. Head for Dranchak. Chip back down to the Canadian zone as Verhoff goes back for it. Verhoff high off the glass. And Martone bats that back to center. Scooped up by Karls, who jumped into the rush. In comes Iginla. Feeds it back across. Visa in the backhand shot. Orszalak makes the save and the rebound. Rolled wide. Dranchak almost tapped that in his own net. Iginla pokes it down to Misa. Back in for Iginla. Drops it back to Parekh. That skipped away from him. And back out to center ice. Parekh snaps the pass ahead, broken up by Kubiesa, and fed back down to the Canadian zone. Reed back for it. Lead pass, moved down by Desnoyers, as Baudouin comes back for it. O'Reilly forces that free to Baudouin. And Jiricek finds Nestrashil up for Sekera. Sekera. Poke checked at the line by Reed. Now Gathers it back up. It gets crunched there by Desnoyers. Nestrashil leaves it back for Jiricek with a shot that hit Nestrashil in the back. And Desnoyers snaps that back for Parekh. Correct. Lifts it back down to the check zone by Fibiger, and icing waved off as O'Reilly got there first for Canada. O'Reilly kicks it free. Jiricek. Up ahead to Benak. For Sikora, he got slammed down by Aitchison at the Canadian line. Danford plays it back around for Desnoyers. And the air and back down to the check zone as Murtka goes back. Now brought back by Curran's got to wait for teammates to get onside. Looks for Galvis, who fires that wide of the goal. Tittlebach has one of the check goals. In behind the goal, Danford brings it around, knocked down by Galvis. Thomas Galvis spins it back in. Politin centers it. And Baudouin reaching for that, knocked it away. Tittlebach. Across the top. Long shot by Tittlebach was blocked by Baudouin at the end of a very long shift. And Baudouin will go to the Canadian bench. Curran plays it ahead as Danford goes back. Aitchison to the line, but not out. Now it does squirt free and a race for it now. In comes Hage. Michael Hage in alone. Backhand shot stopped by
penalty shot.
And a penalty shot. Michael Hage is going to be awarded a penalty shot late in the second period.
Came off the bench, full energy, full head of steam, turns the puck over and was in alone.
Has been awarded a penalty shot.
And the puck was slashed off his stick. Just as he's about to get ready to do his move. The slash in the hands by Zanichka caused him to lose the puck. Not a lot there, but the chance was thwarted because of it. Don't realize it's a penalty shot. Here he goes.
Michael Hage, a chance to give Canada the lead. Hage moves in, and it's poked out of his stick.
He wants a trip. He wants a trip.
And the officials are talking about it.
He's right. It's an empty net if he doesn't get his feet taken out from under him. Goaltenders, when they're in trouble, in desperation, will slash the hands or the feet when they miss the puck. And Orsulak, no question, goes into Hage's feet when he's about to tuck it in the empty side. We'll get a good look at it here. Like that, I mean, could not be clearer.
So the four officials conferring, and here's the call from Rocco Stahoviak.
On the play, 29 was tripped. He's going to get a reshot.
The right call. It's the right call. Hage was right on top of it. So are the officials.
There's something you don't see every day.
It's the right call.
So Hage, round two on Orsulak. Hage. Same move, misfires, and it remains a 2-2 tie.
He went right back to the well. I'm surprised he went to the exact same move twice in a row, and Orsulak was on top of that one. What drama. Tries to sell it hard, but it's another poke check into the feet that dislodges the puck. And it's just such a hard pull, he can't quite handle it. And after all that, no goal. And you wonder, penalty shot success rate is about 33.
Yeah.
Power play success rate is about 50.
Well, for
Canada right now.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
You don't think you wouldn't take the penalty shot, but maybe in this situation, how good, if you could pick, which you can't, if you could, maybe the power play would have been better. Probably should be able to pick, really.
You should have the option, because, for example, if you get awarded one late in the game, you might rather have a power play.
Of course. Patrick Augusta looking for an explanation.
Talking to referee Alexander Osterberg.
I mean, you could quibble with perhaps how hard the slash was that dislodged the puck on the way in, but it knocked the puck off his stick. The trip, it was textbook trip that Orsulak did, and a good one by him. Listen, you're beat for a goal, trip him. Do whatever you can, give yourself another chance. He did it, it paid off.
Now Baudouin for the face-off against Sikora. Sikora wins that face-off back to Jiricek, lifts it back to center ice for Chihas. Knocked away by Danford. Baudouin knocked off the puck by Nestrashil. And Aitchison goes back to pick it up. Gathered back up by Chihas. Here's Danford. Lifts it back to center. A race for it now as Jiricek goes back, being shadowed there by Baudouin. Up for Nestrashil, who chips that back down to the Canadian zone as Danford goes back. Chops at that. Held by Fibiger. Danford fell behind the goal. Here's Klima on it. Yuri Klima in the corner. Aitchison steps into him. Goes back up by Desnoyers. And feeds that down. That'll be icing against Canada. The face-off back down to their zone with 1:13 to go in the second period.
What a night for Michael Hage.
3 goal posts.
3 goal posts. A double penalty shot. And he's got to try to move past it. He's just rolling through it right now. Just trying to process it, then park it. And use it for fuel to go out and get another one. And just might need the intermission to get all the way there.
Aitchison feeds that down. In the earlier semifinal, Viggo Bjork of Sweden had 4 breakaways in overtime, took a penalty late in the overtime, and then was the first shooter pick to shoot for the Swedes in the shootout. Didn't score on that either.
So maybe he's got to talk to Viggo Bjork how he's doing, because that many chances for one player alone. Usually you'd feel great. It means you're having a good game. You're all over the puck.
O'Reilly for the face-off against Curran. Face-off, one Politin shoots. Ivan Kovic the save to hang on to that.
So when you win draws, you got to make plays. The previous face-off, Tayshaun Aitchison has a puck on his stick and he shoots it down the ice. Just ices it clean. And that results in another defensive zone face-off. This time you don't win it. Curran gets there and Politin gets a really good chance late in the period because you're not able to make a play with a puck under a bit of pressure.
Sam O'Reilly for the face-off now against Curran. Your boards are unattended. Puck goes back to Politin. To get a shot away now. Galvis moves it over. Fires that wide. Final minute now of the period. Long shot taken by Mirka. Knocked down by Ivan Kovic. McKenzie. Back down to the check line. Galvis knocks it down. Kicked ahead by McKenzie. That was broken up by Galvis at center ice. In comes Curran. Max Curran moves it. Feeds it back across. They score! Alan Benak fires it home with 42 seconds to go in the second period. And the Czechs are back on top. And Benak finally has his first goal of this World Junior. He'd been all over it for 5 games.
The guy's just tackling him. He's been waiting on it, and he takes advantage of a really tough puck play by Ethan McKenzie. He's got the puck here in the neutral zone, everyone attacking, and he puts it on the ice where it can get turned over, and a great finish. What a pass from Curran through the diving O'Reilly and Brunick, and that's how you find the corner short side. Benak, he's been desperate for a goal all tournament long, and he gets a huge one with under a minute left. You just cannot turn that puck over in that situation if you're Ethan McKenzie, a defenseman stepping up in the rush, because if you do, you give up the chance you cannot afford to give up.
Benak, one of 3 Czech players who plays for the powerhouse Brantford Bulldogs in the Ontario Hockey League. He's a Minnesota 4th round pick. And Canada trails again.
Czechia goal, scored by number 20.
Parekh, back to Reed. Here's Iginla with it.
Assist number 12.
Feeds it back to Parekh. Up for Iginla. Knocked down by Misa. And Fibberger back for it. Chihas for Martone. Knocked down by Misa. Plays it back for Parekh. Zane Parekh shoots. It goes off the leg of Chihas. Martone trying to dig it free. Move back to center. That's bumped ahead by Parekh. Now picked back up by Nestrashil. Nestrashil for Chihas moving in. And Parekh knocked him off the puck but lost his stick. Time winding down here in the period. Chihas plays it back in deep for Nestrashil. Centers it, bouncing puck loose in front. Knocked away by Iginla. And the Czechs will go to the dressing room with a 3-2 lead after 40 minutes of play on semifinal Sunday at the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship.
Here we go again. Another dramatic last 20 minutes ahead between these two rivals. Czechia by a goal. Here's Canadian captain Porter Martone with Kenzie.
Well, Porter, a wild second period. It had its ups and its downs. How are you digesting the game so far?
Yeah, I didn't like our first half of that second period at all, but we kind of bounced back in the second half. Unfortunate that they scored one there, but we got to reset, come hard in the third, and try to tie this game up.
Look, I got to ask you about Michael Hage's not one, but two penalty shot opportunities. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
No, I never have. That was pretty crazy. Unfortunately, we didn't score, but he's getting his chances. I think he's got one here coming in the third.
What will be your message to this team in the intermission?
Just give it your all. We've been working for 3 weeks here, and we're going to dig deep. We're going to play with guts, and we're going to play really hard, and we're going to give it our all. But we just got to stick to our structure and hopefully get one here.
Best of luck.
Yes, thank you very much.
Here's your second intermission with Cheryl Pounder, Frankie Corrado, and Jeff O'Neill. Sounds like a broken record. I said that Dale Hunter kept talking about turnovers, and the worst thing you could possibly have when you have a little momentum is the brutal turnover leading to the go-ahead goal in the last minute right before you go in there, isn't it, O?
Last minutes of game, James, in any game, in any league are so critical, and Canada did such a good job of just getting pucks out of danger, out of trouble. But with less than a minute left, Ethan McKenzie had a tough play in the neutral zone, and it was a turnover and led to a 2-on-1. And now Canada goes into that dressing room in a deficit, and obviously going to be in a tough spot. That's got to be a stiff play in the neutral zone there, and everyone is desperately trying to get back. And Bennett, you give him an open net like that, he's going to rip it home. Last minute, everything's got to be so firm, and you've got to be smart with the puck. It's a difficult decision. Now Canada goes into the dressing room. It was so important to go into the room tied and just see what happens in the third, and now they got to chase a little bit.
It's been such an interesting journey for this team because they've been together for basically a month now. In this tournament, you don't go home to your billet house. You're with these guys all the time, and the same messaging has been hammered home time and time again. Now they have 20 minutes to show that they're not the team that we saw on Boxing Day, but we're still seeing some of those plays.
Well, yeah, and you saw that they were alley-ooping, sending it into the neutral zone, just putting the puck up in the air. I think we were talking to one another saying, listen, like 6 or 7 different shifts where they just sort of aborted mission, and sometimes that's not a bad thing because you're pushing Czechia back, and that's exactly what you want to do, and they had some high-danger chances off of it. So let's see if they can get back to that in the third and just really manage the puck and try and play off the rush.
There was a full tournament's worth of highlights in that period for Michael Hage, who could have had 4 goals, and that's not an unrealistic assessment.
He has been all over it, and Michael Hage has been incredibly impressive for Team Canada throughout the course of this tournament. His speed, his skill, his shot, and this is the definition of being all over it. 1 post, 2 posts, 3 posts, but then the penalty shot sequence is wild. First, he draws it, and then second, he has Orszalak beat. Desperation play by Orszalak saying, I'm just going to chop at this. I'm either going to get the puck or his feet. He gets his feet, so Michael Hage gets a second crack at it. He goes right back with the same move, and it is a little bit of a guessing game, but you see that reaction from Orszalak. He was very beatable on Boxing Day. Canada put up a 7 spot. He has been a lot better in this game, but Michael Hage has been all over it.
And for anyone that was second-guessing him going right back to the same move, I thought it was brilliant, because you've got to be thinking the goaltender's saying, there's no way he's going to go back to the same move.
I thought, because I've never seen that before, I thought they might award him a goal for a second, like, when the guy throws a stick at the end of a game with an empty net, but 2 chances doesn't happen. The story coming into this was Canada's balanced scoring. They had 3 lines, all with minimum 6 5-on-5 goals. Suddenly Brady Martin goes down, and it's an instant blender.
Yeah, and it's the pulse of your team as well. I mean, how often have we been talking about a guy that plays the hard minutes? He gets to the middle of the ice, he wins the board battles, and now all of a sudden he is down and given a hit, and it's so difficult to watch this happen because you're right, Dale Hunter electing only to go with the 12 forwards and the 8 defensemen. So now all of a sudden this plays a role. Who do you go out there with? Well, I like that he goes out with O'Reilly in that same spot that Brady Martin would fill. Now look at the body position on him. He's going to be able to recover this puck and kick it out. Because of that puck recovery, they're able to get this shot on net. Again, the position of O'Reilly net front really creates some chaos there, and Brett comes down and is able to put it in. Listen, a power play that's operating at 47% coming in, it seems to be the difference. Well, it is the difference for Canada, who hasn't been able to get anything going 5-on-5, but I'm kind of looking at this lineup saying, you know what, there's pairings that you want to keep together. Right now, Misa, to me, is playing extremely well. Tige, as well, is playing very well. Now, all of a sudden, you got the Baudouin and O'Reilly combination combination. I think Dane Wyatt is someone that could elevate right now because you want to keep those pairings together.
Team Canada's power play continues to be the ultimate momentum getter for you, but the difference right now is at 5-on-5. We've talked this whole time about how throughout their 4 lines they're getting great contributions. Well, now without Brady Martin, you get one line coming off a face-off or a TV timeout, and then it's a mixed bag, so they have to find some chemistry on the fly.
As good as that power play is, would they have been better off with a 2-minute power play than a penalty shot on one of those opportunities?
I'll take the penalty shot
any day.
Any day.
Yeah. Even
especially when it's Michael Hage.
And back-to-back.
With Michael Hage, maybe. I think I might be taking the power play.
The Czech coach said coming in, they wouldn't have a chance if they took more than 3 minors, if they were shorthanded more than 3 times. I think it's 4 now, plus the 2 penalty shots, so 6 really. And Canada's power play has been lethal, but it's the Czechs with a 1-goal lead heading towards the third. And it's rare that you see, especially the first 7 minutes of that period, Porter Martone, how dominant the Czechs were 5-on-5. Rarely happens to Canada in the World Juniors. Maybe sometimes to the Americans. They regroup. They really have to regroup now. Down by 1, 20 minutes to go. Inside the numbers with Sport Logic. They were tilted Czechia's way in the first, but Canada, on the strength of those power plays, the 5-on-3, the high danger chances now in their favor, as are the slot shots and the chances off rush. First time Canada has trailed going into the third period in this tournament. They had all year to think about last year's devastating loss to Czechia. They have 20 minutes left to flip the script.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Wegovy. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
Back here in St. Paul, Adam Tittelbach gave the Czechs the lead back. Cole Reshny had a Zane Parekh shot deflect off him on the power play to tie it up, but then late in the period, 43 seconds to go in the second, Adam Benak gets his first of the tournament, and the Czechs are back on top, 3-2. Gord Miller back with Mike Johnson. Through 40 minutes, Canada's had lots of chances.
So the concern might be, turnovers, late goals against. They've given up 3 through 2 periods. That's not the issue for Canada. That's been their game sort of the whole tournament. What is different about this game so far is the quality chances that they have created that have not gone in the net. That was a Hage post, a McKenna post, chances in tight, rebounds and scrambles. They haven't found the loose puck. Another Hage post, picking up a theme here. This time it was another one of the power play. Breakaways that haven't gone right. 2 penalty shots in a row for Michael Hage, unable to capitalize. Canada has generated more than enough to have conservatively 5 goals. And if you have 5, then the fact you gave up 3 doesn't seem quite as terrible. What Canada has to do is just try to find a way to have another period creating 3-4 good ones and trust to find a way to score them.
Teams will start the third period at 5-on-5. The Czechs have ended Canada's tournaments the last 2 years in the quarterfinals, now trying to sink their gold medal hopes and send them to a bronze medal game. Canada came back and beat the Czechs on Boxing Day 7-5 with 4 goals in the third period. Nestrashil plays it back for Sikora. That's broken up at center ice by Aitchison. Pass goes off a skate. O'Reilly for Danford. That goes off a stick and back down to the Czech zone. Adam Jiricek back for it. Up ahead for Nestrashil. Brought ahead by Sikora. Winds in across the line. Sikora moves around to Ginla. Sikora still with it. Centers it. Nestrashil on the top of the net. That rolls off the back. Gathered back up by Martone. Porter Martone snaps that pass ahead for Iginla. In on Galvas. And Galvas took that away from Iginla. And Politin has it back for the Czechs. Moving in across the line. Drops it off for Benak. Shoots. He fired that high. And Martone knocks it down for Misa. Murtka in across the line. The play is offside.
A lot of fun with Adam Benak in this tournament. He's been all around the net, but had not found a way to score and was visibly showing his frustration And he had so many looks for an offensive player throughout this tournament. And he finally gets his first of the tournament, and it's a big one. And check out the reaction from his teammates who were mobbing him for finally getting to the back of the net.
He had a crucial chance in the third period of the blowout win against Denmark and was visibly frustrated. Hage pulls that back and shoots at the flex wide. Here's Brunik on it. Back around. Reshny missed that pass as Hage steps up. Knocks that free. They'll get it back up by Novotny. Adam Novotny. In on McKenzie, who stays with him, and the play's offside at the Canadian line.
It's a good surf by Ethan McKenzie all the way across to stifle that rush opportunity. You know, McKenzie would want to collect himself after the second period, had a tough turnover late. Hage would want to collect himself after the second period with all those chances and the 2 penalty shots that he wasn't able to cash in on. And put that aside and find their best period of the game, individually and collectively. Try to get to the gold.
Mathias Mann back to pick it up on the center ice. Knocked ahead for Kubiesa. And Verhoff took that away. Keaton Verhoff. Up for Reshny. Look ahead for McKenna. That pass was knocked away. And Drunchuk. In for Klima. Shoots. He fired that wide. Here's Hage back on it. Up ahead to McKenna. Gavin McKenna pulls that free. Rolled off his stick, and Drunchuk has it back. Jiricek. Out to center ice. Chipped in by Klima. Left there by Ivan Kovic. Back for Verhoff. Verhoff up ahead for Luchenko. And Nestershil plays it back into the Canadian zone. Karls knocked it down, brought back in by Sikora. Sikora, the Czech captain. Back in the corner, Karl stepped into him. Chias knocks it down. In for Sikora. Bumped there by Coots. Back at the point is Fibiger. Crossing goes to Jiricek. Jiricek, that shot was blocked by Karls. Canada hemmed in here for the moment as Sikora plays it back in. Down for Nestershil. And Verhoff races to it. Keaton Verhoff back up to center ice. Jiricek knocks it down. Lead pass catches Canada changing. Nestershil tees it up and shoots. Ivan Kovic knocks that down for Danford. Danford up for Baudouin. And O'Reilly sweeps it down. Baudouin races after it. And Curran plays it back down to the Canadian zone. That'll go right down to Ivan Kovic. Plays that for Aitchison. Out to center ice. Picked up by Desnoyers. He comes slashing in. Desnoyers centers and the pass was in behind O'Reilly. Now Danford is shot. And Orszalak makes the save on that.
There's been a lot of high flips by Canada in this game. Not often resulting in good opportunities, but this one has Desnoyers flowing to the puck, and you can see Mirka knows he's in trouble. He doesn't have the speed to turn with him. Desnoyers just runs out of angle, trying to find O'Reilly in the back door. Maybe want to bank off the side of the body as Orszalak was leaving the post to get across on the pass.
Reshny will go for the face-off. He's out there along with Hage and McKenna. Czechs beat the Canadians last year on a last-minute goal by Adam Yeko, who was injured during their training camp in Bemidji, Minnesota. He slipped walking to the ice and broke his hand. Czechs also lost goaltender Jakub Vitok in December to an injury. He would have been their #1 likely here. That's moved in by Tittlebach. Winds in a backhand shot. Ivan Kovic makes the stop, and on the rebound on Adam Tittlebach, who got promoted to the third line for the Czechs and has a goal here this evening.
Showing that the Vancouver Giants got a pretty good offensive game. He's always shown a lot of speed in this tournament, and he's able to attack underneath Reed's stick and slides laterally through him. Almost tucked that one under Ivan Kovic. It's a good move by Tittlebach. Another reminder that no matter where you play in these rosters, you're a talented player.
Reshny for the face-off against Hook.
Canada's just dominated the face-off circle in every game they played in. After 2 periods, face-off 60% in favor of Czechia.
And they've been good throughout the tournament, have the Czechs. They like their team coming into this tournament. Patrick Augusta felt they had one of the best teams they've sent for a long time. Lead pass for Hage. Orszalak plays that away from trouble as McKenna comes after it. Tittlebach out to center ice, batted back down by Parak. Back at center ice, here is Zane Parekh. For McKenna to Hage. Sets it up inside the line, feeds that down to Reshny, walks right over, shoots, scores! Oh, Reshny with a power move, and the game is tied at 3.
That's such a good decision by Cole Reshny. Quick up, transition play, and they get full possession when they slide it down the goal line. Reshny takes a look across, freezes everybody, and he says, you know what? If you're not going to come towards me, Pesni's not even looking at him. And Orsulak gets all tangled up on the post. I think he loses his edge. He's way outside. He wants to anchor his left skate on the post. He's got it below the goal line, so there's no push. And it's a wide open net for Cole Reshny for his second of the game.
Well, it was going to be his second. They've just changed the scoring on the second goal and given it to Parekh.
Okay, whatever.
Whatever works.
He'll take it. Tie game, Canada.
3-3 the score here in the third. 4 gone. And the lines are all over the place with Brady Martin out, and Reshny gets his opportunity and takes advantage. Now Jiricek. Plays out in the corner, picked off by Misa. Lead pass to Martone. Porter Martone snaps it across to Iginla. Iginla back for Martone, and Martone shovels it in front. The pass just out of the reach of Misa. Iginla plays it back around. Brunik steps up for Canada. Harrison Brunik kicks out ahead. Jiricek up for Klima. And Brunik knocks down that rink-wide pass, feeds it back across to McKenzie. Up for Martone, who chips it down. Orsulak to Jiricek for Klima. Back across to Fibiger. Aitchison. Chias almost knocked that down. It's loose at the side of the goal. Chias for the Czechs changing. Feeds that back to Galvis. Drops it back to Chias. A long shot. That's just wide. Mirka steps up for the Czechs. Bumped there by Martone. Porter Martone. Brad Mirka go toe-to-toe in a big body collision in the corner. Picked out by Baudouin. Puts it over the head of Chias and back down the ice as Galvis goes back, being shouted there by Desnoyers. Nestrashil drops that back to Galvis. Thomas Galvis winds in, goes 1-on-4. That's knocked away by Danford. Danford's stick was tied up. Now the centering pass for Sikora. Drops it back to Galvis. Galvis gets loose. Moves it back across. That's poke checked away. Now Sikora has it back. Sikora moves back in on Danford. Sharp angle shot at the side of the goal. Skips back to the corner. Desnoyers got it.
Make a play with poise here.
Back around to Danford.
Gotta make a play with poise.
Aitchison turns over to Galvis. In comes Galvis with it. Pivots back in the corner on Aitchison. Galvis goes off a stick and back to center. Canada needs a change badly here. Sikora sends it ahead for Galvis.
Someone's got to get off. One of the guys got to rotate off.
Desnoyers brings it back the other way. 1-on-4 goes behind the back. Desnoyers with a drive and a shot. Orsulak makes the stop. Rebound. Reshny comes racing in for that. Canada gets fresh legs on the ice now. Reshny winds in, drops it back to Reed with a shot that hit Galvis. It goes to the corner. Galvis is exhausted now. McKenna down to Hage. Michael Hage pivots back. Who's behind the goal? Jim plays side of the goal. Picked back up by McKenna. And McKenna back with a sitters. Reed put that wide. Here's Reed back on it. Cameron Reed walks out. Feeds that back to McKenna. McKenna back to Reed with a shot. Orsulak save. The rebound skipped away from Reshny. Gathered back up by Hage. He walks out. Trying to poke that back across, and it's knocked out by Politin. Back goes Reed for it. Icing waved off. Up ahead to McKenna. Nifty chip there for Hage. Michael Hage winds in. Shoots! That's blocked in front by Fibiger. And now McKenzie back with it. Back across to Parekh. He finds Hage. Moves in across the line. Hage's rink-wide pass is batted down by Tittle. Back now a shot by Brunik. And Brunik's shot just wide. Back is McKenzie on it. McKenzie feeds that back down to Martone for McKenna. And Misa tries to knock it free. Misa goes in on Hope. They battle for the corner. Fibiger in as well as Canada's making a change. And Iginla comes on. Picked free by Martone. And Jiricek spins back. Knocked down by Brunik. Feeds it down to Iginla. Iginla shoots! And that tipped in front of Orsulak. You didn't see that. Misa back at the line. It's held by McKenzie, but now a chance for Jiricek. Looks ahead for Tittlebach. Tittlebach winds in, drops it back for Novotny. Pulls and shoots. Save made by Ivan Kovic. And this game is wide open now here in the third period. And Martone is knocked down. He is trying to limp back to the Canadian bench. He's lost his stick. Murka plays it back in. Porter Martone is shaken up. And now Novotny back with it. Adam Novotny walks out. He fires, bounces, puck loose in front. That's knocked away. Klima works in. Pivots back in the corner. Klima across the top, feeds that back to Murka. And Murka with it. Murka feeds it back. Kubiesa, a shot that goes high and wide. Long time between whistles here in the third period. Picked out by Klima. Feeds that back to Mann. Back across, and Murka's shot was blocked by O'Reilly. McGinley got a stick on that. It dribbles down in front. And Dranchak couldn't get a shot away. Here's Klima back with it. Tired Canadian defenders on the ice now. Here's Klima loose in the corner. Feeds that back to Mann. He shoots. It was blocked in front by McKenzie. O'Reilly's got it. Lifts it back down the check zone, and it'll skip right down wide of the goal. Icing was waved off. And the Czechs are screaming about that. Chip back in by Sikora. Gets his own shoot in and finds Nestrashil. Here's Sikora behind the goal. Aitchison on it. Sikora plays that back to Galvas. A shot. That's deflected wide. Loose to the side of the goal. Nestrashil centered it. And Danford has it back to Canada to Luchenko. Out with Baudouin. And Luchenko pokes it in for Cole Baudouin. In the corner, he's quenched there by Galvas. And Nestrashil has it back for the Czechs. Nestrashil looks ahead. And a trying tip. In comes Chia, scores! Wojtek Chia slips it home, and the Czechs are back on top 4-3.
What a goal by Shiash. Teams going back and forth. 3 guys back for Canada, but Shihash drives on a forward. That's Desnoyers. He's in the middle. He can't pivot with a speedy Shihash. And great puck protection, and that's a tight lift. That is barred down. What a goal. Drag, protect, get the leg out, and perfectly tucked short side. Shihash under duress to restore the lead for Czechia again.
He had a goal and 2 assists in the Boxing Day game against Canada. He's an LA second-round pick who's going to the Kelowna Rockets when this tournament is over. Kelowna, the host team for the upcoming Memorial Cup, will add some serious skill in a couple of days. But right now, Chihas has the Czechs back on top. In comes Benak with it. Lays it back around Hage. Tied up there by Politin. Now McKenna racing to it. Jiricek shoots. It got through, and Ivan Kovic makes the stop. 9:51 to go here in the third period. Cole Reshny draws Canada even. But then Wojtek Chias restores the Czech lead. The Under-18 Women's World Championship is right around the corner. Tune in Saturday for Team Canada's first game of the tournament as Switzerland faces the Canadians at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on TSN from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia.
They can find some drama like we've had today. First semifinal was fantastic. Sweden winning in a shootout. Canada trying to get a tie to force this one potentially beyond regulation.
There are 46 different IHF tournaments over the course of the year in various age groups, divisions. Division 1A, the World Junior, won by Norway this year. They'll advance to the top division next year to take on the competition in Edmonton and Red Deer, as Denmark was relegated here this year. Not a long shot, knocked away by Ivan Kovic. Correct. Up ahead to O'Reilly, that goes off a stick. Benak brings it back in. That looked offside. And now Benak back with it. Centers it, knocked down by Hage. Up ahead to McKenna. Gavin McKenna lifts it back down to the Czech zone as Hage was the first man there. Down to Reshny. Hage was taken down. Reshny's centering pass is picked off by Benak. Benak lays it back down, and Ivan Kovic leaves it there. For Reed. Up to Parekh. That cross-ice pass is knocked down by Novotny. You talked about at the top of the show, the key for Canada would be do the things they did well, but not do the things they've done badly, which is turning the puck over. There's been a lot of that here tonight.
That's the beauty of this tournament, though. A lot of kids wired for offense. Still a defensive game maturing.
Misa tries to knock that free. Martone's back out there for Canada. Puck frozen along the boards. Martone trying to work it loose along with Misa. Now Martone does get it free. That pass hits Novotny. Novotny up ahead for Tittleback. And on Carl's a centering pass. Novotny a backhand shot. Saved by Evan Kovic. The rebound stopped from Galvis. Dranchak, long shot. Back bounces off. Verhoff in front. And Dranchak knocks it down. Racing to it is Verhoff. Pokes that back to center ice. And Dranchak feeds that back for the Czechs. In comes Klima. Verhoff's got it back. Up for Martone. Lead pass. Finds Baudouin. Baudouin drops it up to a Ginla. Back for Baudouin. That goes wide. Knocked down by O'Reilly. Klima lays it back to Dranchak, and back goes Brunick for it. Loose in the corner. Desnoyers for Baudouin. Brunick jumping up. He finds O'Reilly. O'Reilly trying to find Brunick. It bounces right back to him. O'Reilly, backdoor pass for Baudouin. That was knocked away by Klima. Up and out of play. 7:35 to go here in the second semifinal in St. Paul. The Czechs with a 4-3 lead. And Ivan Kovic keeps it that way.
Czechia has been really good in their counterattacking when they get a break. And they get one here. The speed. Tittleback drives it back. Novotny beats this guy up the ice, and Verhoff, he goes backhand, and he tries to go upstairs. He fans on it. Any shot 5-hole would have found the back of the net for Novotny and put the Czechs up 2, but stays a 1-goal game.
Now Baudouin, Desnoyers, and O'Reilly the forward line for Canada, and once again Sekera takes a key face-off for the Czechs. Correct. Feeds it back across. That's picked up by Chihas as Reed races back. Reed plays it back around for Baudouin.
Correct just got shaken up by a big hit by Nestorseal. He went straight off.
Desnoyers plays it back down to the Czech zone. Brady Martin already out for Canada after being injured in the first period. And the Czechs break in 3-on-2. Chihas labels it back in, but Mirka spins it back around. Here's Chihas, feeds it back. Door bouncing puck. Oh, how did Nestorseal not score there? Ivan Kovic down. They had a wide open net, and now Curran picks it free. Curran shoots at the flex high, over the glass and out. And how did the Czechs miss there?
This is what Czechs are going to do the rest of the game. Canada's going to push. The Czechs will jump when they turn it over and have all kinds of chances. Mirka kicks it back over, and it's a swipe and a miss by Nestorseal. Oh my goodness! Any touch and it's in. And lots of chances all over the ice. And top right by the blue line, here's Parekh and Nestorseal. It's a pretty clean hit by Nestorseal, and Parekh heads right down the tunnel, and Canada certainly needs their top offensive defenseman available to try to get back into this one.
6:55 to go in the third period. Reshny for the face-off against Curran. Reshny taps that back to Danford. Out to center ice, knocked down by Galvis. Glove down by Ivan Kovic. Left there for Aitchison. Keishon Aitchison, 19 goals this year for Barrie of the Ontario League. And the defenseman swings it back out. Up ahead to Reshny. Reshny in across the line. Reshny plays it back around, waiting for it is Danford. Chips that back, but no one there for Canada. Back comes Hook the other way, drops that back to Galvis. Galvis winds in, back for Benak, holds, waits for the Trevor Novotny, moves it and shoots. That puck bounces wide. Pick back up, Novotny wraparound try. Ivan Kovic the save, being tight on Galvis, and a penalty coming to Canada. McKenna's going to go off. Benak shoots, that goes high, and with 6:05 to go, the Czechs are going to the power play.
Invest with Fidelity, and reaching your goals may just take less time than you think.
Tough time for Gavin McKenna to take a cross-check as Galvez is trying to sell a 4. He's down there banging away to rebound. And does he get him with his stick in the face, or is that a glove to the face? Tough to tell on that replay. Either way, it's going to be a rough for McKenna, if not a cross-check. We need one more look there to see exactly what, if anything, caught Galvez in the face, because if he's bleeding, make sure it's not his own stick.
Right, the officials huddling at center ice to talk about it.
Perhaps we'll get a better look at this one. Where does he hit him and what gets him?
The previous play is under review for a potential major penalty.
It's a glove for sure. And if the stick gets across his chin, then and a major is not only McKenna out of the game, but that's 5 of the remaining 6:05 left. McKenna would be shorthanded,
right,
which could essentially end the game until the last minute.
Referees Rocco Stachowiak of the United States, Alexander Osterberg of Sweden.
It feels as much like a punch to the chin as it is a cross-check to the chin. Definitely a penalty. Right across there. Right in front of the official as well. This is a monstrous decision the referees are considering. Gavin McKenna sitting right beside them.
And they're making a call in conjunction with the video official. Here's the call from Stachowiak.
Canada number 9 has been awarded set for the 2-minute penalty for cross-checking.
So it's a 2-minute minor for McKenna.
So it gives Canada a chance for a kill. Something they've done really well in this tournament. It's not a penalty you can take with only 6 minutes left. Chewing up valuable clock. Probably the best look at it there. Cross-check or rough, either one would be appropriate on that call.
And now O'Reilly for the face-off against Sikora. And penalty kills have been good in this tournament. Will need to be again here to keep them in it with a chance to tie it late. Jiricek back to Fibiger. Fibiger moves it back across to Jiricek.
2D on the power play for Czechia.
Jiricek feeds it down to Biesa. Takes the return pass from Jiricek. Chias is parked on the back door. Jiricek moves across the top. Jiricek feeds that back to Fibiger. Back across to Biesa. Simmons and Chias with a shot. Ivan Kovic to save. Jiricek saves it. Oh, what a stop there by Ivan Kovic. And now Baudouin sends that down the ice. Boy, Ivan Kovic's been terrific. Big stops there. And earlier to keep it a 1-goal game as Merkin moves across the line.
Was that
too many men?
That a too many men? Oh my goodness, how can that happen? You got to be so locked in on the bench.
Check out, team
boy.
bench minor, too many players on the ice.
One guy going off as a defenseman, and that's 2 forwards jump.
That's 6 in the play.
That's not even close. That's like a pulled goalie. Nestor Seal jumps, Mirka jumps. That's where Nestor Seal's wrong. Nestor Seal's not supposed to go for the defenseman. That's on 14 White. And so now
remember again, the Czechs are playing 2 defensemen on the power play, so they're probably not used to.
That's why you got to communicate and be so laser focused. So now we get Canada on power play in a minute 12, but also a minute of 4-on-4 time to open things up, which always helps the team trying to score.
Misa, along with Martone. Parek's back out there for Canada. Off the draw.
Oh, did he almost touch that with his hand? He did. Oh my gosh, one after another.
That's another penalty.
Oh boy, losing their heads on both sides.
The officials talking about it, and it is against the rules in the IHF, well, in the NHL too, to Play the puck off the face-off with your hand.
Now, Luka Mäkinen, the linesman, is pretty definitive in there. Does he fall and touch it, or does he reach for it? That's a reach. That's a reach. Here's a great look at it. Yeah. Now, you might say he was trying to put his hand on top of the Czech stick. Oh, another huge, huge deliberation. Misa knows that he is hanging by a thread. My sense is he puts it right down where the puck is. We've seen it off the initial drop be called. This has been a penalty in this tournament. This very similar type touch.
Not reviewable.
And you don't have to put your hand on it and grab it. It's not like a penalty shot. You just got to brush it away. He put his hand right down towards it and made contact.
It was a long conversation between the referees and the two linesmen.
It's been Luka Mäkinen, number 67, the linesman. He came in and he was pretty definitive about his opinion.
Okay, here's the call from Stachowiak.
Canada number 7 has been assessed a 2-minute minor penalty for delay of game.
Playing the puck with your hand off a face-off. And so the Czechs are back on the power play.
Oh, that's a consistent call. That's one we've seen. And that's McKenna, Misa.
Two of Canada's best offensive players in the box. 5:13 to go in the third period. Czechs up 1 and on the power play.
Both benches wanted the break to catch their breath and get ready for the last 5 minutes to see who's going to be in the gold medal game tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern, Sweden versus TBD.
Yep.
Ivan Kovic's gonna have to be busy. Got to keep it a 1-goal game. It's a 1:08, 4-on-3 for Czechia. McKenna and Misa are in the box. And it's going to be Galvis, the lone defenseman. Kubiesa, a shooter in 11 for Czechia out there. O'Reilly, Baudouin, Danford for Canada.
Off the face-off, Danford to the line, but not out. Knocked down by Galvis. Winds it back across to Kubiesa. Chias parked in front. Here's Galvis. Galvis back across to Sikora. Moves in, feeds it down. Chias shoots. Glove save by Ivan Kovic.
On that rotation, it's going to be one-on-one. Chihash and Ivan Kovic. Chihash going right back to where he already scored the go-ahead goal here in the third period. Short side over the glove, but Ivan Kovic was waiting on that one.
Now Baudouin for the face-off against Sikora. Draw one by Canada. Danford's got some time off the boards and back out. 45 seconds to go in the McKenna penalty. Galvis winds back. Drops it off to Chihas. That's the pass back. Chihas pivots back in the corner. Feeds that back for Sikora. Sikora bobble the puck for a moment. Still with it. Sikora feeds it back across. Kubiesa's shot. Ivan Kovic makes the save. Picked back up by Chihas. Feeds that back to Sikora. Back across. Chihas has some time. Galvis. And the shot lane blocked by Baudouin. The puck comes back out. Final seconds now of the McKenna penalty. Galvis pulls it back in. That's knocked away by Parak. McKenna steps back on. It's 4-on-4 for the next 42 seconds. Baudouin up for McKenna. Moving in along with Parak. Gavin McKenna gets a step on the move. Shoots and put that wide. Up steps Hage to keep it alive now. Hage poking at that. Knocked up by Jiricek. Benak on Parak, and it rolls back down to the Canadian zone. Reed back across to Parak. Lead pass to McKenna. Moving in with Hage. In comes Michael Hage on Fibiger. Shoots. Save made by Orszalak. And Benak back with it. 3.5 to go here. Benak feeds it ahead. In comes Benak along with Curran. Benak winds in. Curran moves in a backhand shot saved by Evan Kovic.
Czechia is playing at full strength.
A brief 3-second power play for Canada.
Both teams
That's
are playing
over.
at full
Curran. Back to Mann. Drops it back to... Chance of the side goal for Curran. That shot turned over Evan Kovic. Another chance. That's knocked down. And the teams are back to 5-on-5. 3 to go here in the third period. Misa slides it back down to the Czech zone. Michael Misa plays it back around to Martone. Brings it around to Aitchison. Keyshawn Aitchison. Back down to Martone. Aitchison with it. Walks out of the corner. Feeds that back to Brunik with a shot. Deflected back into the score. Connor Martone ties the game. The captain strikes with 2:41 to go in the third period.
He says, as the captain ties it up. Aitchison activating, gets to the front of the net. And Martone tracks a bouncing puck. Czechia fronting to try to not let the puck get there. But Martone seals off Mirtka and is able to get it to his forehand and tuck it in to tie the game. Oh, under 3 to play against the run of play. All these chances. Ivan Kovic standing on his head to keep it a 1-goal lead for Czechia. And Martone races.
Jiricek fires out ahead. Knocked down by Baudouin. And O'Reilly plays it back in. A tie game late between Canada and Czechia in a playoff game of the World Junior. We've never heard that before. Chance for each, so that deflects wide. Back around to O'Reilly. O'Reilly bumps it down to Baudouin. Baudouin feeds that back. Fed back in by Danford. Now Baudouin for Desnoyers. Here's Reshny after it. Picked back up by Nestrashil. He finds Sikora. Out with Chihas. These dangerous check forward. Go back to work. Chihas centers it. Ivan Kovic knocked that away. Here's Reshny on it. Inside 2 to go in the third. Reshny moves it on Mirtka. He knocks that free. Benak plays to the center ice. Knocked down by Hayes. And Curran gathers it back up for the Czechs. Now Galvis works in on Brunik. Galvis. And Brunik erases him from the play. Benak back in for Curran. That centering pass is knocked down by Hayes. Fed out to McKenna. McKenna had a stick knocked out of his hands. Now McKenna gathers it back up. Here's Benak the other way for the Czechs. Feeds it in for Curran moving in. Curran with a chance. Rebound loses, but they score! With 1:14 to go, the Czechs have retaken the lead. Max Curran in front appeared to get the last touch. And is this the third straight year that the Czechs have scored late on Canada? It was 40 seconds left. Last year, 11 seconds left the year before, and now 1:14 left. Max Curran has put the Czechs ahead 5-4.
When he's getting loose, guys getting tired. Misa gets caught puck watching. And does this one catch his Polatine's foot on the way through? That's not a kick. He's turning and barely even looking at it.
I think it's Polatine.
Polatine's foot, but he's not even looking at the puck. That is not a kick. That will absolutely count. And Michael Misa just got caught puck watching for a second, lost body position, and then a tough break.
The play is under review.
The refs will review this to make sure it wasn't a kick, but tough to be a kick when you're not even looking at the puck. He is just pivoting, and the puck catches his stick. And amazingly, Czechia comes back again to take the lead with just 1:14 left. And this review will allow Canada to draw a diagram, set up a play in their personnel for what will be a goalie out situation.
The fourth time the Czechs have scored a go-ahead goal in the game.
This one's going to be Politin's when it's all said and done. He's looking for the puck, but eventually he turns away, and it's just, maybe Misa might even get it as well with his stick. Just a tough break for Canada. Off Misa's skate, off Politin's skate, and just over the goal line. Oh, so close. Ivan Kovic with the stick as well, but this will count, and Canada will have to go to the attack one more time.
Here's the call from referee Rocco Stachowiak.
After review, the call on the ice stands. We have a goal.
That'll be Politin's goal. He had 2 against the Canadians in the first meeting on Boxing Day.
And now both teams have got their personnel rested and ready for a 6-on-5 potential situation.
A minute and 27 seconds after Canada had tied it, the Czechs have regained the lead. And the Czechs have scored 5 on Canada in both their meetings at this year's World Junior.
Breck was getting some equipment change, got on the ice. They got Hage as a defenseman right now amongst their 5.
And the puck pulled free, but skipped by Hage. And we'll keep an eye on Ivan Kovic in the Canadian goal. Correct. Lead for Martone, who fires it back down to the Czech zone. And Ivan Kovic goes to the bench. On comes McKenna. Baudouin for Reshny, moves in and shoots. Orszak save, and now a penalty coming to Canada. Reshny colliding with the goaltender. He's going to go for goalie interference with 53 seconds left. He's arguing got pushed. And Reshny incensed as he goes to the box.
He got the good look driving out of the corner all by himself. He, no question, gets shoved from behind, but he makes no attempt to slow up. He barrels right through Orszak. It's a lot like the Novotny one.
Penalty, interference on the goalkeeper.
And that's 3 goalie interference penalties in this game. But a man advantage, 54 seconds. Canada running out of options. Reshny's got
to be careful here. The referee is looking back at the penalty box and giving him the cool it sign. So the face-off in the Canadian zone. The Czechs on the power play. 53 seconds to go in the 3rd period.
Canada penalty assessed number 21.
Barek sends that down. Ivan Kovic back to the bench. And on comes Iginla. Martone. Knocked that free. Here's Hage on it. Hage. Lost it to Pippiger. Here's Iginla back in the corner. Hage. Has that knocked away. Chance out for Chias with the empty net. Chias gets around Parek. In comes Chias. Shoots, scores! Wojciech Chias will put it away for the Czechs. A 6-4 lead with 25 seconds to go. And now Martone has to be restrained by the officials. And McKenna's getting a misconduct. Reshny's giving it to the official. And Chias celebrating the 3rd straight year that the Czechs will end Canada's gold medal hopes in the playoff round of the World Junior.
It was the speed that got him the last goal. It's the speed that gets him the empty net goal. And frustration boiling over for Canada. And watch the bench. Watch the joy.
They've done it again.
3rd year in a row.
Canada, number 9, minor penalty, abuse official, plus 10-minute misconduct.
So McKenna was giving to the officials after the goal. He gets a 2-minute minor and a 10-minute misconduct. 25 seconds to go. As Verhoff goes back, plays it back around to Karls.
Number 15, Wojtek Cihas.
Knocked down by Novotny, brought back in by Cihas. Shoots, and Ivan Kovic steers that away. Canada had a 5-0 record coming in. But the Czechs will win it, and the Czechs will play Sweden for the gold medal tomorrow night. Canada will face Finland for the bronze. And the Czechs, once again, take down Canada. Czechia has won medals now in 4 consecutive World Junior Championships for just the second time in its history. Guaranteed no worse than a silver. You've got to go back to the mid-1980s to see the last time they did it.
Canada 6, game total of 24.
We'll get the player of the game presentations, then the top 3 players for each team, and then the Czech national anthem. And they have become Canada's nemesis at the World Junior.
Very much like the first game they played on Boxing Day. That one, Canada won 7-5 in a wild one. This one, Czechia 6-4 in a wild one. Czechia was full value for this win. They were fantastic.
The Czechs tied that game on Boxing Day 3 times. Tonight took the lead 4 different times in the game.
The artwork honors the indigenous
Gavin McKenna wants to know if he can come back on the ice.
Roots that define Minnesota.
Brady Martin has suited the title as well.
By Mike Trimboli, president of USA Hockey, and Meredith Lang, founder and executive director of Mosaic Hockey Collective. The best player of the game for Team Canada is number 21, Cole Reshny.
Good game for Reshny. Had a couple of goals. Played a lot after Martin went out with injury.
And the best player of the game for Team Czechia is number 15, Wojtek Cihas.
Wojtek Cihas, the LA second-round pick. Headed for Kelowna of the Western Hockey League when this tournament's over.
The 3 best players of the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship for both teams will now be awarded with a watch from Tissot, the official timekeeper of the International Ice Hockey Federation. The 3 best player awards are selected by each team and will be presented by Justin Thompson, Tissot U.S. brand president, and Rick Ostrom, Tissot manager director. The 3 best players for Team Canada are number 11, Tej Aginla. Number 19, Zane Perek. And number 23, Sam O'Reilly. And the 3 best players from Team Czechia are number 5, Adam Juracek. Number 17, Peter Sikora. And number 23, Tomáš Galvis.
Well, those 2 defensemen, Galvis and Juracek, have been outstanding for the Czechs.
And Sikora has been the leader they are all following.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Czechia.
Not a huge upset. They were worthy, and this was a pick'em game from the beginning, and the Czechs pull it off. Canada chasing it almost from the outset, and it will be 3 straight years without a gold for the Canadians. And so it will look like this tomorrow at the World Juniors. Sweden, what a thrilling day of the 2 semis. The Sweden game was incredible, and this one as well. And Czechia earns its spot in the gold medal game. Canada will play Finland in the early game for the bronze.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by TELUS, now offering 5-year plan price lock on select mobility and internet plans. By Esso, from the Esso Medals program to representing Team Canada, Esso is dedicated to Canada's game. And by Tim Hortons, proudly supporting over 100,000 Timbits hockey players in Canada.
So here's how it looks tomorrow from the World Juniors. 4 o'clock Eastern for the pregame for Canada and Finland for bronze. This is always the test, particularly for Canadians, when the only medal they think about is gold. Can they get back up for a bronze medal game? Finland also a devastating defeat against Sweden, a little after 4:30 Eastern for the drop of the puck there. And then the gold medal game, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Sweden, again, you know the history. 1 gold medal in 44 years. Maybe their best opportunity in a long time to end that. But this is the best Czechia team we've seen in a very long time at this tournament. So it should be a terrific matchup for the gold medal game here in Minnesota. It's not fun for Canadians, 3 straight years now, to not make it to a gold medal game, but it's another sign of the terrific parity in this tournament. And those were 2 fantastic semifinals today. Just doesn't end up the right way for the boys in red and white. Czechia off to the gold medal game. Lots more analysis ahead on TSN.
Inside Sports Center, Adam Scully here alongside Matt Scooby, and what can you say? World Junior Hockey Championship, not the result Canada was looking for, but quite the entertaining game. It's hard to believe now, 3 consecutive tournaments Czechia has eliminated Canada at the World Junior.
Canada's kryptonite, right?
Yeah.
It feels like they've played each other in the last 6 years in the knockout round, and tough. You know, they won the first 3, but these last 3 years have been difficult. Let's show you what just happened. So it's the biggest difference between this team, Canada, and the previous 2 that lost in the quarterfinals to Czechia. Goal scoring. Canada leading the tournament in goals with more than twice as many as last year. So let's go to the opening period. No score. Canada on the power play. Kolreshny going to find Michael Hage. Stopped though by Michael Orsulak. Goes off the post, and then the follow-up attempt somehow also stays out of the net. A mad scramble. Canada with the top power play in the tournament at almost 50%. Less than a minute later, though, they are still on the attack. The man advantage.
Rossi goes to Martone. Martone to Perek with a shot that goes wide. Rebound, Misa fanned on that. Still loose, Misa with it. Centers it, they score! TJ Ginla, power play goal, and Canada has the lead.
TJ Ginla, his 4th goal of the tournament. Canada now 9 for 18 with the man advantage. Misa making up 2 after he, with his own stick, kept a goal out of the quarterfinal game. But minutes later, some bad news for Canada. Brady Martin involved in an awkward collision. He would leave this game and did not return. And then seconds after, some more bad news for Canada. Czechia pressuring. The initial shot attempt is blocked. Pops into the slot. Max Curran buries on the rebound. Don't forget, Canada beat Czechia 7-5 in group play, but we are tied at 1. Let's go to the second. Canada now down 2-1, but on the power play, it's Hage who's going to hit the post again, and Czechia is going to clear it over the glass right after. So Canada, 2-man advantage. Zane Perek in the slot. Rister appears to hit something, finds its way into the back of the net. Perek now tied for the tournament lead in goals with 5. Canada notches things up at 2 apiece. Then minutes after that, Hage in on the break, gonna get slashed on the hands, loses control, awarded a penalty shot. This was a wild one. On the penalty shot, gets tripped up by Orslak. So Hage given another crack at it. Yeah, second chance. Goes back to the same move, but gets stopped on that one, loses control. Hage, 3 hit posts, 2 missed penalty shots, no goals in this one. Tough night for him, at least to start. But in the final minute, Canada gonna turn it over. Curran gonna beat Adam Banak, and he is going to score in the 2-on-1. His first of the tournament has been buzzing in the last few games, but finally gets on the board. Canada eliminated again by Czechia the last 2 years at this tournament. Now trail 3-2 going into the third. In that frame, Canada still down 3-2. Hage gonna get it to Reshny, just walks out in front and he scores. Strong move to the front of the net. Canada ties things up at 3. But then 6 minutes after that, Wojciech Chias gonna get around the Canadian defender. Watch him go upstairs. This is a great goal right underneath the bar. His 3rd of the tournament. Canada now trails 4-3, but in the final minutes, Canada down 4-3. Initial shot stop. Porter Martone, the captain, hots the rebound, ties the game with less than 3 minutes to go. But Czechia was not done there with 1:14 left in this hockey game. Czechs enter the zone again. Puck gets to the front of the net, going to go off the skate of Tomáš Politin and past Ivan Kovic. That makes it 5-4. The Czechs would add an empty netter. Chihas did that, and Canada heartbreak once again for the 3rd straight year. They lose to Czechia in the knockout round. This is also the first time that Canada has lost to Czechia in the semifinals at the World Juniors. Canada had won the 4 previous meetings between these 2 teams. With much more, here's James Duthie and the panel.
All right, thank you. Alongside Cheryl Pounder, Frankie Corrado, and Jeff O'Neill. It's insane. This is like Groundhog Day if it was a horror movie for Team Canada and Canadian fans. The same opponent, roughly the same circumstances, 3 years in a row. If you could put your finger on what went wrong this time, what would you say?
I think the Czechs just played better, James. I mean, they beat Canada at their own game. They were more intense. They wanted it more. They were in forechecking more. They caused more turnovers. They drew more penalties, and they were just flat out better. Canada does not need a hockey summit here. They picked the best players. I thought this was a gold medal winning team. They just they didn't have their best stuff tonight. They had a bunch of high-end, high-powered offense that just didn't show up to play tonight, and it's as simple as that. You look at the intensity from the Czechs all night on the bench. They were clapping their sticks. They were just really into this, and there was a bunch of forwards for Team Canada that just didn't have their A game. And if through the tournament, you were asking me, what is the identity of this team? And I talked about their high-powered offense, how they could score goals. But if you want to go to the undoing of this hockey team, it was the ability to defend against elite competition. They gave up 6 to the Czechs tonight. They gave up 4 to Finland, and they gave up 5 to the Czechs the last time they played. So their inability to defend and give up goals against elite competition ultimately cost them this tournament.
This was a team that can score, and they got involved in a shootout type of game, but ultimately it was going to come down to who made the last mistake, and it was Canada who made the last mistake. Now, all the mistakes that happened both ways, because the Czechs didn't play a clean game by any stretch of the imagination. There were plenty of chances for Canada, but it came down to 2 minutes and 41 seconds where they just needed to shut things down and get this game to overtime. but they couldn't play D for 2 minutes and 41 seconds, and ultimately that cost them.
Well, you have to give credit to the Czechs as well. I thought we were all talking about that in the first 20 minutes, just how they were able to just suffocate Canada in terms of whether it was in the neutral zone, be heavy on the forecheck, and even when Canada was in the offensive zone, they really shut it down, particularly along the boards, right? So it was really difficult to get any type of cycle game going, and so they were neutralizing Canada, and it almost looked like they were getting frustrated.
Let's hear from Canada's captain, Porter Martone, with Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Porter, these conversations are never easy. Just what's going through your mind right now?
Yeah, there's a lot. Definitely, it's tough when, we give it our all, and I'm really proud of that group. We gave it all to the very end, and we just didn't get the result we wanted.
Your tying goal, it just felt like there was so much hope in that arena. When you think big picture of this group, at the end of the day, just what made Czechia such a challenging opponent tonight?
Yeah, they had an answer for everything we had, and sometimes you got to tip your hat to the other team. And like I said before, I'm really proud of those guys in there, and we went to war tonight, and we fought to the very end. So, they have a really good hockey team over there, and they won that game tonight. But like I said, we fought to the end, and it's a tough pill to swallow.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Always tough to watch these kids who dream about winning a gold medal for Canada their entire lives. But I think what he said there was accurate, is that other team won the game. I think you could say the last 2 years when Canada was upset, things went wrong, and maybe Canada lost. Czechia won this game. As O said, they were the better hockey team. Let's take us to the game-winning goal. What happened?
Yeah, and it was so back and forth, right? And so everyone, the energy in the building changed, and it kept changing back and forth. The momentum continued to happen. But listen, you have to make sure you do take away the back door, and you can see the converging on the rush through the middle of the ice. And once that puck makes its way back door, you can see that Misa has locked down the backside. Ivan Kovac, he's playing that shot there, so you got to take away that back door, and it just goes off of one skate, then another, and Politin is able to put it in. And again, so difficult when you're driving through the middle of the ice, which Czechia did very, very well, pushing the defenseman back, and then that happens backdoor. Really, really difficult so late in the game, much like it was last year.
In this 2-week tournament, you want your lockdown game to be the best in the most critical moments, which is now the elimination games, and they just couldn't get to it. We saw errors, we saw odd man rushes, we saw getting beat off cycles time and time again. They just couldn't get to that lockout game consistently.
The change from Carter George to Jack Ivan Kovac, I think, becomes inconsequential here. Ivan Kovac was terrific in the third. The Czechs could have won this game by 3 or 4.
Yes.
On the flip side, Canada could have had a 2 or 3 goal lead, and I think all the chances they missed probably personified by Michael Hage.
This is junior hockey. Like, there's so many weird things that happen, and Michael Hage, who was one of the most impressive players for Team Canada right from the drop of the puck on Boxing Day, so many chances in this game. He hits 3 posts. There's one early on the power play, then another one, and these could change the game, but this could have changed the game too. Has a penalty shot. Orszalak takes him down. Desperation play, whatever you want to call it. He's trying to get the puck or the body. He gets the body of Hage, knocks him down, so Hager's warded. Another penalty shot. He tries to go back to the same move. And that reaction from the Czech goaltender, Orszalak, is very telling. Because when both these teams played on Boxing Day, Canada scored 7 goals. He was very beatable. But tonight,
excellent.
He was really good. He's a big reason why the Czechs win as well.
That kid Hage is a stud. He's an NHL player right now.
He'll be playing for the Habs at the end of the year. He was so impressive.
Frankly shocked he wasn't named one of the 3 best players.
Yeah,
let's hear from Michael Hage.
Well, Michael, right now, what's just going through your mind?
Yeah, it just sucks. It feels like kind of let the whole country down. Yeah, it just sucks right now.
Well, look, you go back earlier to that first period and you lose a guy like Brady Martin. How did that impact your team going on throughout the game?
Yeah, it hurts. I mean, he's been one of our best players all tournament. So to lose a guy like that doesn't help.
Still a chance to play for a medal. How does this team regroup and look forward to tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, just have to. It's obviously not the medal we want, but just have to come and try to, get a win tomorrow.
Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks.
If you try to pick a TSN turning point in this one, there's probably about 7 different ones in a back-and-forth crazy game like this. But one of them, maybe for Canada, was that Brady Martin injury, because the entire story going in was the balanced scoring from Canada. All 3, the top lines, having a minimum of 6 goals each, 5-on-5. They were all clicking, and then he goes down, and it just kind of wasn't right the rest of the way.
Well, yeah, and when you look at his line alongside Hage and McKenna, these are guys that really find a way to have that chemistry. There's familiarity there. So now all of a sudden you've lost a heartbeat, a pulse within your lineup. So it does change the landscape of it. And, you know, it was so difficult to see. You know, you knew that it was a tough one when he was sitting on the bench and the cameras were going to him. But when he doesn't return in that second period, you say to yourself, my goodness, what is going to happen now? And how are the lines going to be configured, given the fact that they only dressed 12 forwards and they went with the 8 defensemen. So one of the things that I was recognizing was, okay, listen, who is going right now in the lineup? And I was looking at pairings. I would say, okay, Misa and Tisha Ginla were kind of making some sort of connection. You had Hage and McKenna, obviously, and Beaudoin and Riley, which were going to stay together because they PK as well. So I was really interested to see whether Desnoyers was going to get elevated into that top 6. You know, he's a guy that can certainly create. He knows how to open up some ice, but it certainly can mess up the familiarity, the chemistry. You saw it sort of line juggling, especially in the second period.
Sometimes when a guy goes out like that, you're looking for some rhythm because there's more ice time for everybody else. They just couldn't get it.
A tough night for Gavin McKenna as well. Had that one rush late that kind of got the crowd on its feet, but didn't happen for the possible #1 overall pick, who's with Kenzie.
Well, Gavin Czechia just continues to be the thorn in Canada's side. What makes them such a challenging opponent?
Yeah, I think they play hard. Yeah, I believe we should have won that game. Obviously, it's tough. It sucks, but, you know, kudos to them. They played hard. They play a hard game, and good luck to them in the finals.
What was the difference between a win and loss tonight? There were so many chances, so many opportunities. How do you kind of think back on the game collectively?
Yeah, honestly, it's hard to think right now. I think, obviously, you know, we had some bounces that didn't go in. You know, that last goal gets kicked in, and, you know, it counts. So, I don't know. You know, I don't know.
You lose a guy like Brady Martin early on in that game. How did it impact your group in the locker room and on the ice as the game went on?
Yeah, obviously it sucks losing a guy like that, but, you know, I think it fueled us, honestly. You know, we came out hard in the third period. Yeah, we played hard. We knew we had to step up without him in the lineup, and obviously it sucks losing him, but, yeah.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
10 points for an 18-year-old is never a bad performance in the World Juniors, but you could tell he wanted more.
Yeah, he didn't have his best stuff tonight. It was more of a perimeter game it's like this every time there's a big moment in the sport, whether it's a championship game, like the best competition, it's a lot on the inside, and if you don't go there and get the puck there, then you're ultimately going to be deemed ineffective, and that was his game tonight. It was just perimeter play. He had some nice passes, but if you're going to be that go-to guy, that #1 overall selection, you got to show more than he did tonight. He just didn't have it.
He's not a guy who's faced a lot of adversity throughout the course of his career. Last year, 150-something points in the WHL. He's always been the best player. He will get better from this experience, just like all of these players.
I thought going to that third period, this is exactly the same situation Dale Hunter's last World Junior team was in against Russia in the final in 2020, where they trailed and they had that miraculous comeback and won the gold medal. Doesn't happen this time. Here's the coach.
Well, Dale, in speaking with the players, you can see the emotion on their face and what this meant to them from a coach's point of view. How do you process this loss?
Well, it's tough. You know, we came back a few times on them, and we kept battling. And one of those games, last guy to shoot, to score, you know, is going to win the game, and that's what happened.
As the game went on, what were you noticing in terms of priorities that would give your team the best chance to win?
Well, you know, we just got to get the puck in deep. We had some good looks there. The goalie was good. You got to give the other team credit sometimes. They were good tonight, and the goalie was good.
What do you make of the final 5 minutes? I mean, chances tying things up, some penalties as well. Ivan Kovic standing on his head. How do you process the final 5 minutes?
Well, that's you know, that's the World Juniors where two good teams are battling and stuff like that will happen.
What will be the message to the group to regroup and know there's still a medal to play for at this tournament?
Yeah, it's a medal to play for. It's you know, it's a game. It's an honor to play in the bronze medal game, and we surely want to be in the gold. But it's a game of hockey, and we got to win tomorrow.
Lastly, Brady Martin, you lose him early on in the first period. How did that impact your team?
Well, it hurts when you lose a top 6 forward like that, but that's part of the game.
Appreciate the time.
No excuses, but you wonder if he just didn't have enough on the back end as far as defensively. Obviously, it would have been great if Matthew Schaefer was here. That was never going to happen. But even Sam Dickinson would have probably made a huge difference.
Right, but at the same time, like, they made the decision to dress 8 defensemen, right?
Mhm.
And so you feel like you could insulate things that way. You dress 12 forwards in this game. Now you have to scramble the lines a little bit. I give Dale Hunter a lot of credit for the decision that he made to go with Jack Ivankovic. That's not an easy decision to make at that point in the tournament, but you can chop it up a million different ways. Against the Czechs, they just weren't the better team.
All right, and so Canada will play for bronze. And again, what often we see in the bronze, especially a team like Canada, is it's tough in the first period. You can just tell. And once, if they can get into the game and stay in the game with Finland, that by the second or the third, there's sort of a realization that winning a medal would mean something.
Well, it means something. It certainly does, especially when you haven't been in a medal game in 2 consecutive years, right? So I think that's a big thing. But you got to be ready to play. You played Finland earlier in the tournament. You beat them 7-4. So again, it's that whole idea of playing them the second time. Toughest thing to do is to beat someone who you beat in sort of prelim action.
Doing a bronze game will be new to me. I will need some firing up tomorrow. Jimmy, please.
I'm frankly surprised you're sticking around to do it. A couple things that end. The 6 straight years of Canada or the U.S. winning gold, that will end this year. This will also be Canada's longest stretch without a gold medal since they went 5 years without one after winning 5 straight in that stretch from 2005 to 2009.
Yeah, so the medal game matchups are set for Monday. It'll be Canada and Finland going for bronze, and Czechia and Sweden facing off for gold on Monday night. Sweden hasn't won gold at the World Juniors since 2012, losing its last 4 gold medal game appearances at the tournament. As for Czechia, they haven't won gold at this tournament since they won back in 2001. Wow, it's been quite some time.
Our NFL playoff schedule is also set. To hear the matchups in the AFC, the Chargers travel to face the Patriots. New England 3-1 all time in the playoffs against LA, winning the most recent matchup in 2019. The Bills, as the 6th seed, will face the Jags. Buffalo 0-2 all time against Jacksonville in the postseason, though. And the Steelers will host the Texans after a wild Sunday nighter final game of the regular season. Those teams have never faced each other in the playoffs before. And a look at the matchups in the NFC. The Packers will travel to face the Bears. How about that matchup? They split the season series, each winning at home, and the Packers won the most recent meeting in 2011. 49ers will face the Eagles. They last played in the 2023 NFC Championship, with the Eagles winning and going on to the Super Bowl. And the Rams will travel across the country, will take on the NFC South champion, the Carolina Panthers. So there is your NFL schedule, but again, heartbreak for Team Canada. Still going to play for bronze, you heard from the coach, but we'll see.
And it's going to be hard to get motivated, right? I mean, you go through heartbreak like this to lose a semifinal. You saw all the players there, how sad they were, but let's see if they can come back and bounce back.
Medal for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Commentator clothing provided by Copley. Proudly made in Canada since 1883.
Welcome back to the program. Canada lost in heartbreaking fashion for the 3rd straight year to Czechia at the World Juniors Sunday. Canada lost to Czechia. The goal of 74 seconds to go. With more on another disappointing result, here's James Duthie.
Thank you, alongside Cheryl Pounder, Frankie Corrado, and Jeff O'Neill. This is Bizarro World. It's like Groundhog Day for Canada if it was a horror movie. The same ending to the same opponent 3 straight years under very similar circumstances late in the game. What went wrong this time?
Very simple, James. The Czechs were just a better hockey team, and they almost, you could say that they beat Canada at their own game. They were better on the forecheck. They were more intense. They drew more penalties. They had the puck more shots from the point, more traffic, and they were just flat out better. Canada does not need a hockey summit. These were their best players. I thought this was a gold medal team, and they just couldn't get it done tonight, and the Czechs were better than they were. And if you want to look at their identity, it was about scoring goals for them, but it was also about keeping out of their net. They gave up 6 to the Czechs tonight. They gave up 4 to the Finns in round play, and they gave up 5 to the Czechs in round play. So it's like that was their identity. They couldn't keep it out of their net.
They were a great offensive team, and you go back to that first game against the Czechs, and it was a shootout. This game turned into a shootout. There were plenty of mistakes both ways, but what it came down to was 2 minutes and 41 seconds where Canada had to lock things down. Ultimately, they weren't able to do that. They were the team that made the last mistake and the team that lost the game.
I would say the difference with the last 2 years is Canada definitely had superior teams, and they were legitimate upsets. As you said, this is the best Czech team, I think, this century at the World Juniors. So even though Canada, because of their pedigree, was likely a favorite, this is hardly an upset. This was a Czech team that deserved to win. What happened on the winning goal?
Well, they're a quick transition team. And so right when Canada gets back in the game, they find a way to respond to it because they can quickly transition. They've got pace through the neutral zone, and this is what happened. They drive the coverage. They drive the defense back because they're tracking through the middle of the ice. And you can just see Politin on the back door. And Ivan Kovic, who was excellent, by the way, he's challenging the shooter there at the top of his paint. So all of a sudden, you have to be able to take care of the back door. And it goes off of the skate, a little bit of an unlucky bounce as it goes through Misa and then to Politin, and it winds up in the back of the net. But you said it, guys. This was a team that was so tough. They just suffocated the Canadians, but they always had an answer tonight, right? There's this belief and hope now within their federation that they can do it. You hear it in their language. You hear it when they're on the ice, and you certainly saw it in the celebration.
Every coach wants their defensive game to peak at the most critical moments, and it just didn't happen for the Team Canada tonight. It was like odd man rushes, mistakes, giveaways, and it was very costly.
It's a strange game. The switch from George to Ivan Kovic, inconsequential. Ivan Kovic was terrific. They could have won by 3 more, the Czechs. And we could also say that Canada could have been ahead by 3 more with all the chances they had, personified by Michael Hage.
This was junior hockey to the T. It's what makes it so entertaining. All the missed chances, the things that happen that could be so consequential in a game. And Michael Hage, who was one of Team Canada's most impressive players right from day one, hit 3 posts and then draws a penalty shot, hit 3 posts and then draws a penalty shot, takes the penalty shot, gets taken down by the goaltender Orszalak. In a desperation play, he's saying, I'm not going to get the puck or I'm going to trip this guy because it's an empty net. Hage gets another crack at it. He goes back to the same move, but the reaction from Orszalak tells you everything because he was very beatable on Boxing Day and he was great in this game. He's a big reason why the Czechs were able to win.
Tough for Michael Hage. Did it all this tournament. I thought he was the most consistent player. I thought he was their best forward. And from start to finish, because of the consistency, you always notice when he was on the ice, a 200-foot game, his edge work, his speed, the way he distributes the puck. I thought he was excellent.
A 3-year nightmare for Canadian hockey fans. It begins 2 years ago in Sweden, where Canada was the big favorite in the quarterfinals. It comes down, and what happens? 11 seconds left. The Czechs score kind of a fluky deflection there. Then last year in Ottawa, 40 seconds left, this time on the power play. And this year, another fluky bounce when the guy isn't looking out the outside of his skate with 1 minute and 14 left. The ultimate hat trick for Czechia, knocking off the favorites 3 straight years. Couple things in. A streak of 13 straight years at this tournament where either Canada, the U.S., or Finland wins gold. That will end this year because it will be Sweden or Czechia. It will be also the longest time between gold medals for Canada since they went 5 years in a row without one after winning 5 in a row from 2005 to 2000.